Papa, ladies and gentlemen.
Joe
How are
Rogan.
ya? We're
Good.
live, fella.
It's good to be here.
So this is a statistic that I was going to tell you. If you divvied up all the money in the entire country, all the money that we have, everyone would get $179,000.
That's it?
That's a lot.
That's all the money the U.S. has?
300 million people. This
Right.
is according
300
to
million
the 2010 Federal Reserve document, so it's a few years old. The total net worth of all U.S. households and nonprofits is around $54.9 trillion.
All right.
So that's $179,000 per person based on 307 million people.
Does that include children?
Yeah,
That
307 million people. So your kids would get $179 grand. That's pretty sweet.
That's pretty sweet.
Your 11-year-old would be fat with cash.
Finally.
Imagine an 11-year-old with $179,000. How much candy can you buy? They'd go fucking crazy.
Your pool is filled with inflatable flamingos.
Yeah, there's a reason why you shouldn't be allowed to have that kind of money. Like you, Matt, when I was at Disneyland, I was talking to this guide. And real nice guy. He's super cool because he's got like so much knowledge about Disneyland. And
George?
No, his name is Philander. That's his actual name. He's not a philanderer either.
Right.
He's a very nice gentleman. But he was talking to me about sometimes they have like a prince from like one of these Middle Eastern countries will come. And one time it was a little boy. And he was 5 years old.
Oh, man.
And he had all these grown men, like, 40-year-old men around him that had to listen to every fucking word he said. So if he said, "Bring me candy," they had to run over with candy.
I want to see the mouse.
Yeah, he does whatever he wants. And he's 5.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they said he has like ungodly amounts of money. He can do whatever he wants. I mean, literally probably worth $1 billion.
God.
And he's 5.
So he's probably just becoming aware of his power.
I think he's
Right?
always been aware. I think
4?
Yeah, I mean, but I think his model of how people are
Yeah.
is they're servants.
They're just all servants.
Yeah, like he's royalty.
My kids would be awful if they were in charge.
Everybody's kids would. You would be. I would be. The idea that you could take a 5-year-old kid and give him ungodly amounts of money and power is kind of insane.
Especially with their mood swings at that age. Just
Their
like
hormones
in the
are
middle of
kicking in.
Disney and like, I want to go to the airplane now. I want an airplane now.
What's funny with kids is when they get tired, they just can't deal. Oh my God. They just fall apart. My favorite is when my daughter goes, "Carry me." Like, just... Like, can you imagine you get to a point where you just like, "You have to lift me around. It's too much effort to try to walk. Carry me."
My daughter still does that at 11. And it's just like, I can't. I physically can't. I can for 2 steps. And then I'm putting you down.
What does 11-year-old weigh?
11. She told me the other day, I think like 89.
Yeah, it gets too big.
It's too big and long. It's long. You're picking her up and her legs are dragging on the ground.
Especially if they want you to carry him like a baby.
Right.
It's like you're carrying a log. Like you're carrying like a giant piece of lumber.
I don't want to walk.
It's like if I had to carry, like, I can carry my wife. Like, I could throw her over my shoulders like a fireman's carry.
Right.
Like, that's not. But nobody wants to be carried like that.
No.
Nobody wants to make it easy on you.
No, they want to be a little cuddle. They want to nuzzle in.
Yeah, they don't want to make it easy on your arms or your body.
They have no idea.
Yeah. Like, nobody does squats with, like, in the curl position. You don't, like, do a curl and then do squats. No,
One time
you throw them on your shoulders.
We were at SeaWorld, and
how dare
my
you?
daughter wanted. This was before we knew it was bad. We just knew it was a lame place to go. We didn't know it was evil. And my daughter, my oldest one, was like a kid, and like 4 or something. And she's like, "Dad, can you pick me up?" And I had like that macho squat moment of, "Yeah, I'll put you up there," and like hoisted her up right into a tree branch.
Oh no!
Full impact knock.
Donk! Oh
Daddy.
no!
And then you feel so bad, like you want to blame somebody other than you. And you're like, "Well, the SeaWorld branch people." I don't know.
Assholes with their tree placement.
Oh, that was a rough one. But no, my daughter, 11, still has, the 14-year-old is not asking to be carried, but the 11-year-old still will have moments of,
Well, I think there's also this thing going on with kids where they're realizing, like, wow, I'm going to be responsible for myself eventually. This is coming. This day is coming.
Yeah,
It's unavoidable.
My daughter, it's like puberty time, and she is so aware of it. And she literally said out loud the other night, "I don't want to stop being a kid."
Whoa.
And I was like, well, look at our friends, because we have a lot of comedian friends. I'm like, look at Erin. She's a grown-up. She's like, yeah, but she's different. She's not. I'm like, yeah, but she's hung on to being a nut and having a good time. And I got kind of bummed out as I was saying it, because I want to say to her, look, I'm not that much of a grown-up, but to her, it's like I'm the serious guy that's walking around scowling sometimes, taking care of stuff. That wouldn't relieve her, She sees me as a guy who's not having that much fun some of the time.
Well, don't you look at people that have incredible responsibilities, like the president, and you go, fuck that job.
Oh, my God.
Right?
Yeah.
Or CEOs of giant corporations that are working 20, 30 hours a day or whatever the fuck they're doing.
I think you just get in it.
I don't think you can work 30 hours a day.
You just get in it and you go, I guess. But
you look at them from an outsider's perspective and go, that is just, I don't want that. I think a lot of times kids look at that about adults. Mm-hmm. Like, honey, do you have your passport? Where's your keys? Where's the all right, got my thing. I got they look at it like, oh, what's going on? He's got so much to handle.
Right.
There's so much
Get
going
the stuff.
on.
Did you lock the doors? We're going out.
Did you call the bill guy? Did you make sure the payment? And what about the plumber? Is that fixed, or can we turn the water on? Is it the?
Yeah. The thing that drives me crazy when I look at those guys, the business guys and the president, it's not this president so much because he seems pretty funny, but they're so serious.
Yeah.
Like
Stoic.
That's the one thing. Like I don't take anything that serious around, even if people are screaming about whatever, anything. I just will make a joke. I keep it light. I'm not like clowning, but I will. There was a dead lizard this morning in the washing machine, and my wife's screaming, "There's a lizard!" I'm like, "Could we keep him?" Just to let the kids know. And they come back from these homes when they have like play dates with real grown-up fathers, and they're like, nobody laughs over there. Like, it's like really serious.
Well, a lot of people's lives are like a sentence. You have a daily 8-hour sentence. Your daily 8-hour sentence is to go to an office and do something you hate, and then come home tired.
Yeah.
There's a TED podcast that I was listening to. Let me come up with the name of it here. Maslow's Human Needs. And I was listening to it on the way over here. It's really fucking interesting.
Is Maslow the guy, or is that the thing?
It's a good question. I think it's the guy who came up with these needs, the hierarchy of needs.
Of human needs.
Yeah, human needs. Food, sleep, safety, love, purpose. Psychologist, Abraham Maslow.
Uh-huh.
And that's his hierarchy triangle, like the food pyramid, which, by the way, is all fucked up. The food pyramid, because I was reading a story to my 6-year-old about, it was one of those Cat in the Hat, like the things you could do that are good for you.
Right.
And one of the things they show, the food pyramid, the bottom is all bread.
Bread's good.
Well, it's not.
Bread's good.
It's not. It's not good for you, Tom Papa. I know we started a resurgence. Oh, you brought bread, you son of a bitch. It's wrapped in a cloth, ladies and gentlemen, like he's some old-timey baker character.
It's really what I feel like. The only thing I'm bummed out about is I didn't have a basket to bring it in.
Did you make that? That's
made
one you
this.
made? This is a sourdough?
This is a sourdough bread.
From Tom Papa that made it into New York Times?
Yeah, when I did your show and
Can I smell it?
talked about it. Yeah, this is a couple days old because I thought I was coming a couple days ago.
Ooh, dude, you even make the top a little floury, like a real bakery. Let me smell. Oh, that smells so good.
It's good.
God, that smells good.
Yeah. That's
Tom
ancient
Papa.
sourdough.
Tom Papa, you fucking animal. You brought a knife and everything? Well, it looks like we're off the diet. Today I was at the lowest weight I've been in like years. I was
Really?
190 this morning.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
How tall are you?
5'8"?
Wow. I really, I don't think that this is sourdough bread. You digest it as a lower glycemic.
Supposedly.
What do you mean supposedly?
Allegedly. I'm in though, dude. Just slice it up.
Can
Let's
I cut
do
it on this?
Fuck yeah, yeah.
All right. This is a couple days
if
old.
you
so it's
scratch
not as...
this table, it'd actually be good. It's like it'll make it cooler. So just cut it like it's a cutting board. Don't be shy.
All right. This is this is how bread was made originally. This is in ancient
Tom
Egypt,
Papa bread.
6,000 years ago.
Ancient Egypt, do you know that in ancient Egypt when they made bread, they ground their flour on like mortar and pestle, but they were really shitty. And so they'd get a lot of sand in the flour. And so the people in ancient Egypt all had fucked up teeth, like worn down to the nerves.
Oh, man.
Because they were chewing sand all day. So the inside of their body was like a fucking, what are those things called on birds? What is that called? Like a, what is that thing that they do? The crop. Where you have your gizzard. Yeah. You have your fucking rocks in there and you chew up your food.
Oh, God.
Which is apparently one of the reasons why they made lead shot illegal in California, because like if people do like shooting clays or if they shoot things in those little lead pellets from shotguns,
right,
birds will actually eat those. And it goes in their gizzard and they use it to grind things up, but then they get lead poisoning. That's the thing with the California condor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why California condors. One of the reasons why they made lead illegal for ammunition in California is because of California condors. Because they would dumb fucks.
So,
eating pellets.
Stupid.
Don't you know that's not a rock, you stupid fuck?
Dumb condor. They look dumb.
They are dumb as fuck.
They really do look
dumb. But we need them.
This should be
Fuckers.
toasted. I mean, toasted would really be the thing that would get you.
Toast. I'm going to tell you right now, folks. Here we go.
I'm so happy to see you eat bread. This has a good. It's pretty good. I was
It's very good.
Nice and airy. I make. We haven't bought bread since I started this.
How long ago was that?
December.
Wow.
We have not bought bread. Do you know like bread in your supermarket? This is made with 3 ingredients. This is flour, water, and salt. That's it.
That's
you know, from your sourdough starter. Bread, like the healthy, like whole wheat bread you just get at Ralph's or whatever. 32 ingredients. 32. This is pure.
And is that just because it's preserved?
Preservatives and flavors and, yeah.
People get so mad when you eat on the microphone.
I know, but it's so good.
Normally, folks, I would never do this to you.
And
I'm only doing this to you because Tom Papa brought some bread in, and I'm going to break my diet for a few hours.
The sourdough flavor, like that little after flavor in the top of your mouth, that's a bacteria. That's lactobacillus or something like that.
You know?
Yeah.
Dude, this is really good. You're an excellent bread guy.
It's pretty
If
good.
this whole stand-up comedy thing doesn't pan out.
Dude, I'm going to just go into it. After doing your podcast and then talking about it on my podcast, it just kind of erupted. People were just so interested in just this pure making something small and simple. And and I think I told you when I saw you at the Comedy Store, there's like, you know, you have some real men listeners, like dudes who look like they're going to call you for like advice on a truck. And they're like, I can't get my starter right. Is it how? There's some like, and people would start sending me pictures of their bread and pictures of their sourdough. And then this guy from the New York Times, Sam Sifton, the editor, was doing an article on it. So he contacted me, and I was part of this sourdough, this whole thing about people keep their sourdough starter like a pet. So it was kind of like this revival of this little method. So I ended up in this article with him in the New York Times.
Yeah, I read it. I had a lot of people send me articles about starters, too.
Yeah.
Like people in England that have 150-year-old starters and all this crazy shit.
Weird. It's so good, though.
I'd never even heard about it until you brought it up. I had no idea.
I had no idea either until a month before that.
I was under the impression, and it was with zero research, just my head. This is how you make bread. I thought you'd take flour and water and eggs and yeast.
Yeah, you add yeast.
Pour yeast in, and that's all I thought. I never knew that you had like that you take flour and mix it with water, and then you get yeast out of the air.
Yeah.
When you told me that, I was like, get the fuck out of here. That's crazy.
It's just floating around us all the time.
But did you know that's what the case with nitrogen? Yeah, like The reason why there's so many people on this planet, and this is from a Radiolab podcast that highlighted, I think it was called The Bad Show. But the Radiolab podcast was highlighting how sometimes really bad people do really good things, or really good. Sometimes it's difficult to differentiate between someone who's bad or good because what they've done is so amazing.
Right.
Well, there's a guy named Fritz Haber, and Fritz Haber was a scientist in Germany. And what Haber did was he figured out a way to extract nitrogen from the air, because apparently our air is mostly nitrogen. It's a massive part of what's in the air is nitrogen.
Okay.
I don't know what percentage. Young Jamie, what percentage?
Jamie,
please. What percentage of the oxygen?
you're like the 5-year-old
surrounding.
kid. You're the 5-year-old
No, I'd
monarch.
be like, Candy!
I want to know how much nitrogen is in the air. Jamie.
What does it say? 20%. Okay. So, by volume, dry air contains 78% nitrogen.
Oh, wow.
20% oxygen. Wow, 78% nitrogen. So the air is mostly nitrogen, and we need nitrogen for fertilizer. So Fritz Haber came up with this method called the Haber method of extracting nitrogen from air. And that is what we use primarily for fertilizer.
Okay.
It's a big part of what we need to make sure that the ground is viable for growing food. Well, the Haber method is responsible for the nitrogen, apparently, that's in 50% of the people on the planet, extracted directly from the Haber method.
What do you mean, in the people?
The nitrogen from say if you grow plants, right? And you eat those plants, the nitrogen that gets in your body from those plants, 50% of it is coming from this one guy's method that he invented in World War I.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
Crazy.
So what was in us in the 1800s?
Fertilizer from fish, things like that. Like you'd have to get mulch, compost, and that's how a lot of people do it today with organic farming. You know, they use like at my house, we take our chicken eggs and things that we don't eat, and it goes into this pile with leaves and.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You have to compost is tricky. Like you have to kind of create an environment for bacteria and stuff to grow. And when plants eat, they don't just eat water, right? It's not just photosynthesis, but they also need nutrients from the soil. And they get their nutrients from the soil from dead things, from decaying bodies, from from worms and just bugs and all kinds of shit. Well, this guy, Fritz Haber, figured out how to get the nitrogen in order to fertilize the ground, just getting it out of the air. But he also created Zyklon B. Zyklon A and B, the shit that they used to kill Jews in the concentration camps, that guy created that. But he actually...
What an evil name. You know that's bad shit as soon as they say it.
Zyklon.
Zyklon.
That's how you say it, right? Zyklon?
God.
So he came up with Zyklon A, and Zyklon A was this gas, but there was a scent attached to it so that you could smell it, so that you could know it's dangerous, get the fuck away from it. The Nazis switched it to Zyklon B. They took out that smell. And that's what they used to gas people in the concentration camps.
Oh, my God.
So Fritz Haber, who, by the way, was a Jew, his Haber method created this horrible thing. He also was one of the first people to institute some form of chemical warfare in World War I. They would, the same method that he used to extract nitrogen from the oxygen, somehow or another he utilized that method to bomb Allied troops with poison gas.
Oh, my God.
And it was, apparently he was a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
And it was directly his idea. Not only was it directly his idea to bomb the Allies, but he was like super excited about it. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's...
So he just had this power of knowledge and went right to evil.
Well, sort of, because he thought he was doing good because he was doing it for Germany, you know?
Right.
But then he was eventually, when Hitler rose to power, he was fucked because he was Jewish. So because he was Jewish, he didn't, because he was so valuable as a scientist, they didn't immediately lock him up. But he was in this weird position where he had to take a stand. And, what he was responsible for doing ultimately went on to kill, untold millions of people.
Did he survive? Did they keep him alive?
No, he died. He died seeking, I think it was some sort of health care in Switzerland or something like that. I think he had like a bad heart.
Really?
And he died trying to make it there because he was sort of exiled by his country, and they wouldn't take him in England because he was wanted at the same time he was receiving a Nobel Prize for creating the Hopper method. He was wanted for crimes against humanity. He was wanted as a war criminal for using this gas on the Allied troops.
Jeez.
So it's so complicated. So on one hand, he was responsible for the death of all these people in this horrible, horrible way.
Right.
But on the other hand, the Hopper method, again, is responsible for, like, literally they believe that the population boom is directly attributable to his invention.
Amazing. It's just a side thing. At what point did it become a war crime to use gas?
I think nobody had ever done it before.
So they just saw how bad it was and immediately was like, this is
I guess
heinous.
I mean,
like this is a
war, the idea of a war crime is very strange.
It's tricky. Like, because when you said, like, well, he thought he was doing a good thing because it's his country that he's protecting, and it hadn't been done before that people were using gas. So it's like,
right.
Why would that be a crime at that time?
Well, what's a war crime and what isn't, right? Like, is dropping a bomb, is that a war crime if you drop a bomb on a city? Hydrogen, nuclear, whatever you want to do? I mean, isn't it a war crime if you indiscriminately kill people who happen to be in the area that you're bombing? What's the crime? Like,
yeah,
you're supposed to be killing. That's Tom Papa still digging
I'm sorry,
on
I'm
that
still
bread.
chewing. This is the problem.
It's right in front of you. That's what the problem is. Wrap that bitch up. Wrap that bitch up so we don't keep doing this. Because otherwise, people will tolerate like a session of a podcast
of some chewing
where you're chewing
I
bread.
know.
But if we keep going, they'll be fucking pissed. And then Adam Carolla will get more viewers.
I'm glad that you ate it though. I knew
yummy.
I knew you'd be concerned about the bread.
Well, I hit a milestone this morning at 190.
That's
I was like,
huge.
Ooh.
That's great.
Yeah, I've lost more than 10 pounds.
Since when?
How long has it been? Like 5, 6 months, something like that. 5 months. 5 months.
Just going real clean?
Well, I cut all the bullshit out, and I started eating a high-fat diet, high healthy fats like avocados, coconut oil,
right?
Things along those lines. And I just cut out bread, sugar, all that stuff.
No carbs?
Well, very little.
Right.
I get most of my
Vegetable
carbs from
carbs.
vegetables, but... Man, I'll tell you, like, as far as, like, physically, like, my energy level, it's amazing. I feel so
Really?
good. Oh, I've never felt better.
Really?
Yeah, it's incredible.
I want to try this.
I think we just get used to feeling like shit.
It's really true.
You know?
It's totally true.
You just get used to it. You get used to, like, people are hungover.
Yeah. You're just kind of, like, in this fog, and you're just like, that's just how I am.
Mm-hmm. Whether it's bad diet or booze or whatever.
What about do you see how Kimmel lost his weight?
How did he do it?
That fasting thing, that 5-2 diet.
5-2 diet.
It's 5 days he just eats whatever, like a crazy person, and then 2 days he eats under 500 calories. And he attributes, he says he's been doing it for years, and this is why he's slim. You know, he's a lot slimmer than he used to be.
He used to be.
And 2 days, don't eat like 500 calories. It's not, it's like pickles and coffee. And then the rest of the days he just eats whatever he wants to eat.
Huh.
That can't be good for your body, right?
I don't know. I'm just too stupid for this. I don't know. I do the minimal amount of research on almost everything.
You seem so knowledgeable about it, though.
I seem knowledgeable about a few things.
It's true. Whenever I have these kind of questions, like, Joe will know.
I know a few things, but if you like go into depth with me about them, and you find out how shallow my knowledge truly is.
No, I was watching. This woman came to my show in San Francisco this weekend. Dr. Rhonda
Patrick.
Yeah.
You met her?
She hit me on Twitter after she had been at the show and was thanking me for being so hilarious. And I saw she had a lot of Twitter followers, so I just looked her up and saw her on your show, and she was really interesting. And she's like super smart about all this stuff, and just the facts just pouring out of her.
Yeah.
But whether you're acting or not, you look like you knew what you're doing.
I'm not acting, but it's a perfect example because in comparison to her, I'm an idiot.
Well, yeah, but she's
but see what I'm saying?
off the charts.
Well, that's how I look at it.
Right.
Like, compared to a regular person, I can tell you what ketosis is, and I can tell you why it's better to have your body burn fat, allegedly.
Right.
Although people disagree with it.
This is stuff like, Bobby Lee doesn't know this stuff.
Poor Bobby Lee.
He has a beautiful body.
Do you think so? Everybody's into different shit.
Like a
I mean,
scallop.
remember those old like a scallop.
He looks like a scallop.
Like a scallop with legs. Remember those old days when that was like a hot look?
What, being schlubby?
Yeah, those like Victorian days. People would just lie around and just look like a lard ass, and everybody was like, oh.
Yeah, it meant wealth.
Yeah.
It meant, oh, that guy can afford food.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That was because back then it was probably difficult to get that fat too.
Yeah.
Because they weren't eating processed foods. Like
Right.
all this stuff that we eat today, like candy bars and shit like that, Coca-Cola, it's just right to fat.
Immediate.
Yeah. So like back then, if you were gonna get that fat, like I always picture whenever I picture Rubenesque, I picture somehow or another, I picture them naked on a couch.
Right.
Do you? Like do you have like an like when you think of like overweight people from that part of time, I always picture them like lounging naked.
With food around them.
Yeah. Just fat as fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to eat a lot of food back then.
A lot. But, isn't it probably until like the last 40 years, because like when you look at movies even like in the 60s, everybody, the extras, the stars, beyond the stars, just the people they're all thin.
Yeah.
They're all thin. They're just not the puffiness that we all have now.
Yeah.
There's a puffiness that comes because we're trying to eat this bread. We think it's whole wheat bread from the store, and it's got sugar, it's got fruit, it's got stuff in it that's puffing us up. That didn't exist even in the 60s
Well,
and 70s.
a big part is corn syrup. Did you ever see King Corn?
Yeah.
The documentary?
No.
It's amazing. It's a crazy documentary where these guys, they're students, and they go and they get their body examined, and they examine. The doctor who does the tests on them examines their carbon in their body and finds out that most of it comes from corn. And they were like, what? Like, what in the fuck is that? So it sends them on this journey where they start examining the role that corn plays in our diet and food. And they ultimately went and they got their own farmland and started growing some corn. But they go into the whole process of corn, how corn is subsidized by the U.S. government, and how much corn is in different products that we eat. So these guys go to the supermarket, and they walk down the aisle and just randomly start grabbing stuff and find out this has corn protein, this has corn syrup, this has this and that and that and this. And fucking they use corn for everything, man.
And even the meat is all corn-fed animals.
Yes, and that's why they're so fat.
And they shouldn't be eating corn.
Exactly. Well, then when you have a steak and it's corn-fed, that big thick layer of fat and the marbling, which we call marbling, that's like the cow dying. Like that's a cow being a fat fuck.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, unhealthy cow, get over here, baby.
That's the tasty part. That's evil.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird that we like. I mean, it does taste good though. God damn it.
But to think that I know.
A fatty piece of meat.
I know.
Like a fat, thick ribeye that's well marbled. Oh, good Lord. Why is it so good if it's bad for you?
So good.
Why are the good things bad for you, Tom Papa?
I don't know. It's because he wants you. God wants you to come see him in heaven.
Is that what it is? Aw, sweetie. That's awesome.
My new movement is to try and not eat factory farmed meat, and which basically means you're not eating meat most of the time. Like you can't eat it when you're out. You can't eat pepperoni pizza.
Right.
You can't eat, you know what I mean? Like if you really want to try and know exactly where your meat is coming from, you're basically cutting a ton of meat out of your diet.
Yeah.
Because you can for home use. You go to a farmer's market, pick up a, beef that is grown by, raised by this local cattle hand. But just to go out in the world on the road and just be like, I'm only going to eat meat where I know where it's come from. Look at a room service menu.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. You'd have to go to a restaurant where you knew what the farm was that they got it from, which there's a lot of those now.
Yeah, I mean, you go to these places now and they say farm raised and
farm to table places.
Yeah, there's a lot more. And cities that never had it either.
Yeah.
Like you go to like Cleveland, which was notorious for like, not giving a shit about their diet, and now there's a lot of places like that. Yeah.
Well, I think the internet has sort of expanded people's idea of what food is, and I think a lot of chefs who really enjoy food but don't really enjoy this whole idea of factory farming and they're trying to figure out, well, there's got to be a more wholesome approach to getting your food. And so they make relationships with these farmers and then they buy their food directly from them. There's this one place in Maine that was on Anthony Bourdain's show.
Uh-huh.
I think it was on his early show, the No Reservation show.
Mm-hmm.
And these people in Maine, they do everything. And it's a short, they're not open in the winter because, winters in Maine are just brutal.
Right.
So they're closed in the winter, but during the summer, spring, and fall, they have everything on the menu is vegetables that they grow, and then they butcher their own animals. They raise their own animals.
Right.
That was really weird because they were petting this pig. They had the pig and they were petting him.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how, after you kill a couple of them, you start looking at them like, oh, this is a nice ham hock here. The bacon's going to be good off of this one. Like,
Yeah.
ooh.
That's a little, yeah.
It's dark because you're directly connected to it. You don't have that. You don't have that middleman that gives you a nice filter, so you don't have to think about the morality behind killing that little piggy.
I know. But it seems like those people are able to do it. Like it is kind of a natural thing.
Well, it's natural for farmers. If you talk to farmers, they get used to it.
Yeah.
You get used to this idea that, you have these things, you raise them, you love them, then you shoot them in the head and eat them.
Yeah, exactly. And look, you're not going to get rid of factory farming. There's so many people that are eating it. It's going to exist, but I just feel like maybe I don't have to participate in it.
Is it always going to exist? You think it's always going to exist?
I think so. Yeah, it's
Why
spreading.
Why is it always going to exist?
Well, it's spreading and it's getting stronger. I mean, factory farming is now ending up in places that never had a meat-based diet. It's ending up all throughout Asia.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's spreading. It's not getting smaller.
But that's just because it's profitable, right? If people just abandon it, if people jump in and say, enough of that, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
And then the demand drops.
Right.
What we got to do is we got to give everyone in America all that money so they get that $179,000.
Yeah.
They could afford that sweet farm-raised protein.
Hey, back to the science guy that made the Zyklon beast.
Fritz
thing.
Haber.
Yeah. Haber.
Yeah.
So that's like an evil, that's a guy that has like a lot of good in his mind, but then it becomes like this evil kind of a thing. But you were asking, well, what's a war crime? It's kind of fuzzy. It depends on what side you're on and how you're living. You could say the same thing about being a terrorist. I mean, we see someone as being a terrorist as being something evil and awful. But I'm sure, if you talk to a family, if an 18-year-old kid is like, you don't understand how my family is suffering in the middle of this desert and we're being tortured by these governments that came in and raped our land, he could make a case that would make you think, well, you blowing up something is not really a war crime. It's you fighting for your survival.
Sounds like Tom Pop is a terrorist sympathizer.
No, I'm
we
saying
found out two things about Tom Pop. He likes bread and terrorists.
And I love terrorism.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It is that fuzzy thing.
Yeah.
Someone had asked me that question in regards to the our own revolution, when we started fighting outside of the lines and hiding in trees and doing some crazy kind of fighting, and we weren't in those lines anymore. It was like, these guys are rebels. These guys are terrorists.
Cheating.
Yeah,
We're
right.
cheated.
Yeah, you're cheating.
Yeah.
But I think that you could probably dig back to the root of it and be like, well, you're hurting innocent people or whatever it is. There probably is a line where you can say this is a war crime.
Well, what's interesting is at one point in time, war was handled in a gentlemanly way.
Right.
Like the leaders of one army would meet with the leaders of the other, and the general would actually hand his sword over to the other general.
Right.
And they'd either take it or occasionally, in a gesture of good faith, they would give the sword back to him and accept defeat or accept victory. And they handled war by these very strict codes at least at the highest levels.
Right.
And then somewhere along the line, we figured that we don't. I think that was because it was super intimate. For war back then, you had to kind of be on top of each other. Mm-hmm. You had to be stabbing each other,
right,
or shooting each other with arrows at the and that's not that far away.
From 25 yards.
Yeah, you're dealing with much shorter distances.
Yeah.
And then once they figure out bombs, I don't even know where this bomb's going, but fuck those people.
Right, exactly. Where's the general? I'm dropping this on him.
Yeah,
and his sword.
Isn't World War II the ultimate example of that? World War II, when they dropped those bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, those bombs are that's the ultimate. I don't even know what's going to happen down there. I'm just going to let this motherfucker drop because
Right.
they'd never dropped a bomb in a city before.
Right.
And this is the first time they dropped. I mean, it only happened twice ever, but those 2 nuclear bombs they dropped in those cities, they literally were like, whoever the fuck's down there,
Yep.
tough shit.
So long.
Babies.
Yeah, we're going to end this.
Yeah, you drop a bomb on a city, for sure you're killing babies.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Babies, puppies.
Old ladies, grandpa.
Yeah.
Grandpa and grandma might be kissing
Right.
in the kitchen. What a wonderful life we've had.
What the? Yeah. Oh. Worse is being like the guy who's just outside of the area that gets affected. You know, the guy whose house doesn't get touched, just a mile outside of it, who's just like, oh my God.
Well, there was one guy who escaped Hiroshima and went to Nagasaki, and then he got blown up in Nagasaki too.
Oh my God.
That motherfucker must have thought the world was ending.
Old Bad Luck Jones.
Oh, this bullshit ass war. I don't even have nothing to do. I'm out here making sushi,
Surrender already.
trying to read samurai books. These fucking dudes are dropping nuclear bombs.
There was a I saw Adrian Brody had I thought it was a cool quote on Woody Allen yesterday. Just back to the thing of like good and evil and whether this guy was a good person or a bad person. And they were asking him about Woody Allen. He's like, it's a complicated thing being a person. It's a complicated, messy affair. And he's an artist and I like his films and he's, it would be irresponsible of me to assume I know something of which I know very little. I don't know what's going on in a man's life, let alone his sexual life, let alone his, to assume that you know these things and treat them as truth when they haven't even been proven true. It's just a difficult thing. The thing I latched onto is it's just such a mess being a person.
It is a
it's
mess being
so
a person.
complicated. And
It
especially
is.
a person that's been around for years. Like if you're 70 years old, you've been around trying to be a person for a long time.
A long, long, long time.
You are going to make mistakes. You are going to be, at the very least, a mess.
There's a thing about Woody Allen, though, where you're standing, when you stand against him,
Yeah.
you're not just standing against a human being who may or may not have done some fucked up things, but you're also standing against the idea of people doing the things that he is alleged to have done, like sexual abuse of minors.
Right.
Because that's one of the things that his daughter and her brother are alleging that he did. Like his son wrote an article about him. You know about
Ronan,
that, right?
Ronan Farrow, who's
Yeah.
really Sinatra's son.
Yes, he's obviously Sinatra's son.
Man, he looks just like Sinatra.
He looks just like Sinatra.
Really smart guy.
So,
too.
first of all, Mia Farrow's a whore, right? Can we just say that? Are you allowed to say that?
Very promiscuous.
Well, she just liked the dick. And Sinatra probably slang some good dick,
Sinatra?
But this must be weird for Woody. Like, growing up, he must have been like, that is not my fucking kid.
Yeah.
Do you think he ever got a DNA test? I mean, Jesus Christ.
No, not back then.
Look at that. That's Mia Farrow and Sinatra's baby, 100%.
Yeah. There's no Woody in Ronan at all.
Does Woody Allen say that? He looks a lot like Sinatra?
I've never heard him comment on it.
Well, it says it right there.
What's it say?
Right there. Woody Allen says Ronan Farrow looks a lot like Frank Sinatra. Gee, you think? I mean, has there ever been a clear example?
Those eyes, the blue eyes.
Oh, my God. Look at his
Old
face.
blue eyes.
But his face, everything about him.
Jaw, lips, even the crease look on the left-hand side, our left.
Why the fuck hasn't he gotten a DNA test?
I don't know.
I'd be like, that kid needs to shut the fuck up and get rid of my name.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually Farrow. Ronan
Farrow,
Farrow.
yeah.
So it's not really his son. But I guess he probably raised him as his son. Is that the deal?
I guess he was around.
Jeez, he's 78. Wow. Addressed ex-girlfriend Mia Farrow's claims that their son, Ronan, may actually be her ex-husband, Frank Sinatra's child.
Maybe.
I paused for a quick word on the Rowan situation, Allen wrote in the middle of his response to Dylan Farrow's detailed New York Times open letter accusing him of sexually abusing her. Is he my son, or, as Mia suggests, Frank Sinatra's? Granted, he looks a lot like Frank with the blue eyes and the facial features, but if so, what does that say? That all during the custody hearing, Mia lied under oath and... Okay, this is just fucking.
So that means while she was with Woody, after being with Frank,
Yeah.
going with Woody, she drifted back to Frank for a
she
night
got
or
some-
two.
She got some dick on the slit on the snoot
Got
tip.
the world on a string.
Yeah, for
Living
sure.
on a
For sure.
rainbow.
By the way, Mia Farrow, actress. Okay, most likely crazy. Like good luck finding an actress that's not crazy or actor that's not crazy. There's probably, I mean,
They all go
2 out of
nuts.
10, maybe
Yeah.
2 out of 10 aren't crazy.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of them. They're real nice. A lot of actors that are real nice.
Sure.
But 2 out of 10 probably crazy. I mean, not crazy. 2 out of 10 not crazy. Right? Is that accurate?
Yes, maybe even 1 out of 10.
I'm nice. I try to be nice.
They go crazy, and the more I was going to say the more popular they are, or the more successful they are, the crazier they are. But when
That's
they're
not
not
necessarily
successful,
the
they're
case.
crazy too. Yeah, they're just crazy.
You know who's not crazy at all? Rosario Dawson.
She's great.
Super hot
Super cool.
and super normal.
I
Like,
did
when
El
you're around
Super
her-
Beasto with her.
What is that?
That's that animated film I made with Rob Zombie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
She's like one of the weirder ones I've ever met. You're like, huh, you're not even like an actress. You're like a normal person.
like a normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what happened? Are you immune?
Dangerous.
You didn't get the sickness?
It gets the sickness in its veins and its bones. It gets the sickness. It needs Botox.
I won awards.
Where's my award? He gets awards that belongs to me. Alone.
Didn't Sinatra give his divorce papers to Mia while she was doing Rosemary's Baby?
I believe something along those lines.
She was like on the set with Polanski, and
Yeah.
he had delivered the "You're hitting the skids, baby," right in the middle of her acting.
Well, back in those days, do people just, like a guy like Sinatra, but there had been, had there ever, think of this.
Power.
When Sinatra was a celebrity, was like, when he became famous was like the 30s, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
before
the
the
30s
war.
and the 40s. How long had celebrity even been around?
Right. Brand new.
For movies and film?
And singing, like, you had
How
opera
long?
stars, but
Yeah.
yeah, not
How
like
long?
that.
What's
10
matter?
years?
Looking, she was 21 and he was 50 when they were married, and she lost her virginity to him.
That's right, she did.
Whoa. Whoa. So he made that baby when he was in his 50s.
Yes, yeah.
What an animal. That's older than us, dude. We still got hope.
No,
Still got hope. The kid doesn't even seem autistic. So you know why? Back then, they didn't have the fucking vaccines, man. You either died or you lived, but you didn't get autistic. I'm joking, folks. Don't get mad at me. Joe Rogan's an anti-vaxxer. Why don't you go hang out with Jenny McCarthy? People just wait. They just wait for anything they can. Like someone was fucking saying, he's a Trump supporter. He's a Trump supporter. Someone was saying I'm a Trump supporter the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then some internet thing. There was like a little Twitter argument
waiting.
going back and forth between two people. I'm like, I'm not a fucking Trump. You can't just say I'm a Trump supporter. I mock the guy all the time. Why are you saying I'm a Trump supporter?
Yeah, so they're just waiting.
They can define you.
Yeah, they want to.
Yeah, like you're a truther.
Right.
You're an anti-vaxxer. Oh, great.
I was on. Did I tell you this? I was on. I feel like I might have told you, but I'll tell you again because we can't remember anything anyway. I was on. I was back in New York, and I went on Opie and Jim, and in the morning, and I was talking about. Jim was talking about Trump, and it was the beginning of Trump, and I was saying I've met the guy. I don't feel like there's a little something sleazy about the guy. There's something there that's, you should hold different standards for this office. I don't say where. I'm not saying I'm on Hillary's side or anything. I'm an independent, but I'm talking about the Trump thing. The Twitter feed goes crazy. Hillary lover, scumbag liberal, blah blah blah. I go on Larry Wilmore that night, and on his show, the nightly show, and there's a story about some girl who yells at her boss on Twitter because she worked for Yelp, I think, and he wasn't paying her enough. She was complaining about being poor in her 20s and screw the man and he should pay me more and all this kind of stuff. And there was more to it, but I came down on the side of we're all poor in our 20s. You just got to suck it up. I was making $5 a night doing stand-up. Just eat your noodles and get working and buck up. The Twitter feed after that, Trump supporter, lover, right wing, white entitled asshole.
White entitled asshole.
Yeah.
As if the melanin in your skin has
Right.
anything to do with your ideas about how the world works.
Oh, but you're free to say it now.
Yeah, white privilege.
White privilege.
But just that, in one day, people were coming
Yeah, on both sides.
trying to categorize me on both sides of it.
Did you feel like you were in the middle, like officially?
I felt pretty great. I felt pretty good.
When you get back to that Woody Allen thing
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
second, there's a big fuss about him now because people are sort of like defending him because
Right.
he does these movies and the movies are critically acclaimed and people look at them as like vehicles for awards and
Right.
vehicles for a career jump, and so people work with him.
Yeah.
And at the very least, he married his daughter.
Yes.
See, there's a picture to me that defines him, and this is why we can't be friends.
You and Woody?
He and I. You
Right.
and I are friends.
Right.
I just didn't want you to feel bad.
Well,
like, what the
I mean,
fuck, dude? I
let
thought-
me be the judge of that.
Can we be
Let me see what
friends?
you say about Woody
Okay.
first.
There's a picture of him with Soon Yi, is that her name, on
Yeah.
his lap at a basketball game. There it is, right there. When she was a little girl. And then there's another picture of the two of them together when she's grown up and they're holding hands and they're at a basketball game as well.
Wow.
And that's as a guy who grew up with a stepdaughter,
Yeah.
that's fucked beyond belief. Because my daughter, I don't call her my stepdaughter. She's my daughter. She calls me daddy.
Yeah.
She's my daughter.
How old was she when you were in the
She's,
scene?
Well, just like she was little.
Right.
So specifically, like she's a woman now.
Yeah.
And specifically, she was tiny then. So, like, this is the same thing. I'm looking at this. So I'm looking at Woody
That first picture.
with that little girl on his lap, and then I'm looking at Woody holding hands with her. Like, there's a weirdness to that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
Like, that's undeniable.
How old is she in that picture?
She's like fucking 6, man. That's a tiny little girl sitting on his lap.
Oh my God, that's weird.
See, that is
I've never seen that.
that is where, and there's something also that's creepy about his face in that picture. And maybe it's because we know that he eventually wound up fucking her.
It's also weird that you don't see his hands.
Yeah, they're deep in her ass, I heard. That's what I heard. No, that picture, though, that face is like, yeah, look at these, daddy's got candy for you. You know, there's some creepiness to his face. Obviously, it's a still picture. He might have been about to sneeze. You know, he better been.
Sure.
And we're like, oh, look at him, the creepy face fuck. You get, like,
Did you ever
taking
hear-
photos of someone like that is also very rude.
Did you ever hear Emo's joke? Emo Phillips' joke about that?
No.
It's one of the best jokes I've heard by Emo Phillips. And he says,
I like how you just qualified that. By Emo Phillips.
well, there's a lot of jokes out there. He's so funny. But his joke is Woody Allen adopted Soon Yi when she was 4 years old. Married her when she was 16. Patience of a saint.
Did he marry her when she was 16?
I don't know.
That can't be right, is it?
I don't think legally you can.
Oh, boy.
Maybe 18. Maybe they started dating when she was
Oh,
16.
God,
It's
that's
illegal,
so
right? It's not
crazy.
legal until that picture that does kind of. I've never seen that picture before.
That's not a kinda. In my obviously my life, the way I look at it, it's like I'm not looking at someone who doesn't have children, nor are you. When you have children, you know what it's like to raise little tiny people and then have them be grown up. And then the idea of, like, say, if you and your wife got divorced when you were younger and your 4-year-old went to live with another guy and he lived with her until she was 18, then he wound up marrying her and fucking her and having kids with her. See what I'm saying?
Good Lord.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? I mean, that is
Yes.
exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, so
Like, that's an intense flaw.
huge.
But
That being said, 2 questions. Will you watch his movies?
I've watched his movies. Yeah, it's a stink in the air, though.
If he calls you and wants you to be in his next film,
No,
you don't work with him.
no,
You do not go near
no
that.
fucking way.
Yeah.
No fucking way. Not like he's calling me or anything.
Did you grow up thinking Woody Allen was like a comedy god?
No, I grew up thinking he was very funny. Like his movies were really funny. I enjoyed a lot of his movies. You know,
But he wasn't like one of your guys.
Sleeper, Annie Hall. No, he had a lot of great films. I mean, he's
Amazing films.
Yeah, I mean,
Crimes and Misdemeanors.
Yeah.
Hannah and Her Sisters.
And then even the most recent stuff, the Dice Clay movie. What was that? Jasmine Blue.
Yeah.
That was great.
Barcelona.
Yeah, that was great
Christina
too.
Barcelona.
And what was the
Amazing.
Midnight in Paris? That was really good too.
Amazing.
Yeah, where Owen Wilson actually plays Woody Allen.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
Right.
doing like a Woody Allen impression.
He's the Woody Allen guy.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And that's where
I enjoyed
Adrian
it.
Brody was great. He was playing Salvador Dali. I am Dali.
Yeah,
I am Dali.
Yeah. He's obviously really good at making movies.
Yeah.
But you know, we played some of his stand-up on the podcast before.
Right.
And from like the 60s,
Yeah.
the early 60s. And he was always a pervert. In
Yes.
the early stand-up, it was like really pervy.
Yes. Well, look at Sleeper. There's a giant tit chasing him across the park
Yeah.
in Central Park.
Yeah.
This giant lactating tit, 50 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like, of course, this guy was a perv.
He was a weird fucking guy.
I know.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was a weird fucking guy. And he is a weird fucking guy.
Yes.
And I guess what he's done is not a crime, because if you look at the actual law, he didn't do anything wrong. It's not his biological daughter,
No.
you know. So
You mean with Sun Yi?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess he can kind of do that. But then there's the thing that his biological daughter says that he did weird shit to her. The problem with that is that he says that his daughter was coached by the mom, and there's just no way to know. I mean, it would be horrible if you accused him of sexually molesting his daughter and it was really just a manipulation by the mother. And that is entirely possible. You don't know. And there's this idea that you're never supposed to judge someone who's making an accusation. You're never supposed to question them. They are the victim.
Right.
But I don't buy that. I think that's nonsense.
No,
There's
if-
an incredibly large amount of fake rape cases, fake molestation cases. There's
Right.
people lie about everything. They lie about money. They lie about
Sure.
sex. They
And
lie
believe
about
it
getting
sometimes.
fucked by Frank Sinatra while they're married.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Till he turns out to be
I mean,
old blue eyes.
You're just that alone. Just
Yeah.
looking at that. You're like, listen, bitch, you got a problem with the truth.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's the other side of it. Right, she's not
Yeah,
clean
she
either.
was taking that crooner dick while she was living with Woody. You know, she'd sneak off for a coffee. I'm just going to go out and get a coffee. Just, this fucking toupee falls off. He
Welcome
shoots
to
one
the
in her.
Copa.
Welcome to the club. I gave you a kid. All of a sudden, he became Dice. Oh!
What a world! I'm in love. No, it's very tricky. I mean,
Yeah.
look, if your wife had any hint that something was going on with like, if
Oh,
she
Christ,
would have
don't
gone
even say
crazy and just like, just
Yeah.
please. It's very complicated. It's
Well,
very
he obviously
difficult.
did eventually leave her for the Sun Yi. Well, what are we, like gossipers? I just think
No, but
at
it's
the
but
end of
it
the
is
day-
but it is kind of an interesting thing because I mean, if you were to what you said of like that it represents other people that do this is the kind of
Yes.
the swing thing because everybody, if you didn't work with people because of their private life and things you didn't agree with, you would never work with anybody.
Well, you
'cause
imagine
people
that.
are a mess.
You'd have to sit down with them and go over their private life. Okay, have you ever lied to a cop?
Right.
You know, have you
Yeah.
ever lied about speeding? Have you ever not paid your taxes?
Now
Have
let's
you-
get into your sex life.
Yeah, yeah.
Please.
Do you ever think about other people when you come?
Right.
What?
What are you saying? Okay, this meeting is over.
I had a buddy of mine that actually got in an argument like that with his girlfriend. She was like, my friend says that guys fantasize about other women while they're having sex with their girlfriend. Is that true? And he was like, well, sometimes. She's like, you fucking piece of shit. She got really mad at him.
Right.
And I remember thinking about it, like, why do you care? I guess if your wife was just thinking about just getting stuffed by some big ass country football player, some big dude with like chewing tobacco in his mouth and a fucking rebel flag hat on, he's just laying pipe on her, and that's what she's thinking about when you fuck her. She's thinking about some corn Fred, you know, yeehaw! You know, imagine, right?
Yeah, but-
you'd be like, oh fuck, man.
But that's why you don't ask the question. That's why you don't ask. That probably is happening, but you don't ask.
If you really love your wife, you want to know everything about her.
No. Oh my God.
You want to know everything.
The
You want to know
little-
when she's disappointed.
Oh my
I
God.
love you, honey, but I hate that face you make when you come. You make me disgusted. That's why I won't fuck you.
You just walk into the kitchen in the morning, honey. What are you thinking?
So next time you fuck her, just wear a luchador mask, or even better yet, like a Godzilla, big rubber Godzilla head. Fantasies are weird, man, because like
You can't.
I remember when I was in high school, there was a guy who was writing for the Newton South High School paper who wrote this cool thing about the Boy Scouts.
Uh-huh.
And I remember reading this because I was in the Boy Scouts briefly as a young teenager, and they had
Right.
the tenets like trustworthy, loyal, thrifty, clean, reverent, and like one of the things about what the Boy Scouts were supposed to do is keep your mind pure.
Right.
Keep your thoughts pure. And this guy was like, who wrote this article, and obviously this is in high school in the 1980s.
Yeah.
The guy was pretty brilliant. And he was like, I don't like the idea of anyone telling me what I can and can't do with my thoughts, because sometimes my thoughts are fun.
Right.
I like to explore the idea of thinking about all. And his argument in this newspaper, and I'm like grossly paraphrasing him, because again, this is like from 1982 or something like
Right.
that. He was like, you don't need to know what's going on in my thoughts. You just need to know how I act. That's
Right.
it. How I
Yeah.
act is important, not what I think. So telling me to keep my
Right.
thoughts pure, he's like, my thoughts are mine.
Right.
They're mine. I do what I want with them.
That's right.
So if your girlfriend is just thinking about that big country fucker with like a piece of wheat coming out of the corner of his mouth, yeah, Nazi tattoo on the back of his neck, just laying dick,
God bless her.
fat dick,
God
too,
bless her. Whatever she's into.
like a sailor's forearm.
I am not asking.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you have moments like in your relationship where you're with each other for your life? This is a long time thing.
I feel like we should be
And
playing
there's-
piano music right
There's
now.
times when you're all of a sudden.
No.
There's times to it.
Jamie went to get some Incredible Hulk walk-away music.
And there's times when you're into her, and there's times when there's times when all of a sudden you
Are
come
you
back.
about to say there's times when she's not into you?
Yes.
Unacceptable. Walk. Be a man. Suck it up.
There's times
Cowboy
when you're like,
boots,
you know what? She's
naked.
not that psyched with me right now.
Suitcase in each hand with a boner. You chew 2 Viagra. You get your dick hard as a rock.
Look, I'm not saying you don't do those things. What I'm saying is you don't ask her why. You
Right.
don't ask what. What is it? Like, you don't want to know these things. I don't want to know why she's unhappy. I want to know. I just want her to keep her thoughts to herself. If she's banging some big redneck in a truck stop,
No, you don't want to.
I don't wanna know.
You don't want to know if she's actually banging or thinking about banging.
I don't want to know anything.
You don't want anything. Huh.
No.
What a good husband you
I
are.
want her to just be a good mom, a good wife.
And eat my bread.
And and how about she cook something once in a while? Why am I baking bread like I'm an old lady? Why am I running around with flour on my shirt and she's sitting on the couch?
Do you wear an apron?
No,
No?
I have thought about it,
You
but
should
I
get an
feel like
apron.
it's going over the. There's
What would you keep in the pocket? I always wonder. Like
One
that
hit.
front pocket. Why does that even come up? Or who throws shit in that front pocket? I think it's useless.
a one hit and a razor blade.
A one hitter and a razor blade. I never see anybody using that front pocket on the apron.
Yeah.
Never comes up.
No. What? Yeah. What's in there?
Nothing.
Your lighter. Because
Stash.
cooks always go out and smoke a little.
Smoke. Yeah, they do smoke, which is interesting because cigarettes dull your taste buds.
They don't care. Food. This is
Yeah.
food. It's
Fuck.
like, oh God, I'm not eating this shit.
But I always thought that was weird about chefs because the whole idea about preparing food is making something that's delicious. It's an art form, right?
Yeah.
So, but if you're dulling, it's like fucking with a condom. It's like I'm really into sex, but I love condoms. I don't know what to do.
I don't know. I never smoked. How much does it deaden your? Does it really deaden?
I don't
it,
never
deaden it?
smoked either, but allegedly it does.
Yeah.
The people that I've talked to that quit smoking say that was one of the most remarkable things about it. Is that right after you quit smoking, you get your taste buds back.
Yeah. But you don't look as cool.
What is that about?
You look.
What's about something so stupid where you're sucking on some burning leaves?
It's a prop.
Right.
A good prop though. Like people that vape do not look cool. They look like they've got a pacifier.
They look like they're sucking on a robot's dick. You know?
Beep,
Well, they
boop,
have that
beep, boop.
box. Those box ones. Like, how much batteries do you need? How much are you vaping? You have a fucking battery that could charge a car.
And it glows like Rudolph.
Yeah. And then they blow these smoke clouds out. I'm like, fucking Christ, what is this?
There's so much that comes out.
Yeah. And they get into it. They get into the big giant clouds.
Yeah, they do. They're
Some
douchey.
guy sent me one. And he sent me one that I could literally kill someone with. I could beat someone to death with it. It's a big, thick, heavy copper one. Do we still have that stupid thing laying around,
For tobacco
Jamie?
or for weed?
It's for tobacco, but you
Right.
could use it for weed. You
Yeah.
could definitely use weed if you had like weed oil. But
Yeah.
it was a weird thing where you had to like drip the oil into this thing, and then we don't need to see it, Jamie. It's okay. Thank you though. It was but it was fucking heavy. Like it probably weighed a pound, right? At least a pound. Yeah.
For home use, or you're not taking that to
I
the
think
bar?
you're supposed to just fucking carry it around in a sling.
They look like brass knuckles. for
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was huge.
Did it have
was
a case?
Fucking huge. No, it didn't have a case. It should have a wheeler case so you could take it through the airport.
That's not cool. But
No.
a cigarette, to sit there with just a cigarette in your hand, it's
Like
the
Sinatra,
coolest.
baby.
Like, yeah, that's right, baby.
Send in Mia.
You tell Mia, I don't want to talk into that Jew.
The chairman of the board has spoken.
It's the coolest. It's a cool prop. You can do stuff with it.
Apparently,
You can make a point.
yeah, apparently it's a really good cognitive enhancer too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, nicotine is apparently it's as effective as like a nootropic, as a cognitive enhancer, like vitamins, like paracetam and all these different vitamins, choline, that have been shown to have effects on memory and cognitive function.
Oh, yeah?
Nicotine apparently has a positive effect on cognitive function. I know a lot of guys who smoke like e-cigarettes before they go on stage.
Really? Mm-hmm. Just to
Yeah.
get a little
A little buzz.
buzz, a little go.
Yeah.
Coffee do the same thing?
I don't know. I don't think coffee actually has cognitive enhancing performance benefits that have been proven.
Just makes you busy.
Makes you happier. I know it increases euphoria, and I think it lights you up. You know,
Yeah.
like it stimulates you. So there's probably some benefit in that, just being more awake.
Yeah,
but I think
that's-
if you are awake, though, I don't know if it really benefits you.
Like there's times when I'm writing, and like if I'm writing in the afternoon, and I'll have an espresso, and I come back, and all of a sudden I'll catch myself like 15 minutes later, like just humming along and like doing stuff. You know, like you just get busy. You just get like, all right, we're going,
Yeah.
without being aware that it was really the caffeine.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
take the what is it? Neurotropic?
Nootropics.
Nootropics.
Yeah, I take them.
You do?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I want to take more stuff. I really do. I'm so into. I kept for a long time. Was like, I'm not taking anything, and now I'm at a point where it's like we live in the 21st century. It's time to start taking some stuff.
Like what kind of stuff?
I take vitamin D now.
That's good. D3?
D3.
Yeah, very good. Very important.
That's good, right?
Yeah, well, the only way you get it is through the sun or through certain foods. It's particularly important for vegans.
Right.
B12 and D3 are two of the most common things.
B12 too.
Yeah, because it comes from animals. We get it primarily, B12 especially, we get it primarily from animal protein, and they apparently get it from bacteria. And the only way vegans can get it is in certain forms of bacteria, microorganisms. Like you have to eat living things to get it.
All right. So B12 I should add also.
B12's huge. B12's big. D3 is
Take
big.
D3.
DHEA, or not DHEA, DHA, fish oil.
Oh, really? Fish
Yeah.
oil? I
yeah,
keep
omega 3s and 6s, super, super important for brain function.
omega what?
Omega 3s and
Right.
6s.
Do you take that as a supplement? Though?
Yes, I do. You can get some of it from flax oil and from hemp oil, but it's not as effective as fish oil. I mean, this is taking out ideology and, eating plants versus eating animals. Scientists uniformly believe that fish oil is the better method for absorbing those things.
But then you go online and you look up fish oil, and there's just as many articles that fish oil does nothing.
Well, omega 3s and 6s are critical.
Right.
That's what fish oil is.
We just
I mean,
know.
there's
So
just-
you get that from the fish oil.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So someone saying that fish oil does nothing, that's nonsense.
It's nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, what does it do? I mean, here's the number one big deal. People think that they like to take things and then feel an immediate result.
Right.
And what you're doing when you're taking vitamins and supplements and eating healthy food is you're building your body with these materials. Like if you eat cake and ho-hos,
Right.
and that's all you eat, that's what your body uses to regenerate cells. That's what your body uses to grow. I mean, all your tissue is eventually going to be made out of everything you eat.
Of birthday cake.
Yeah, birthday cake and sourdough bread. So what we are today is your body's consumption of all the different foods and nutrients that you've taken in, and this is what it's built with it.
Right.
And it can only make a good body off of good ingredients.
Right.
I mean, it's really that simple.
Yeah.
If you're not getting any vitamins, your body starts pulling them out of your bones, and pulling calcium out of your bones. And
Right.
but your body freaks the fuck out when you don't have enough stuff, and that's where a lot of diseases, inflammation, a lot of problems come from just not having the proper building blocks. So
Right.
when you eat healthy, you give your body what it needs to rebuild and build.
Right.
So your growth from there on represents your diet. Like whatever you're putting in, the healthier the stuff is, the healthier your body is. It's like
Right.
really simple, but it's not going to be an immediate effect.
I bet it would be pretty quick, though.
Fairly quick, you'll feel better.
Yeah.
And over time, like weeks or months, like this wacky diet that I'm on, initially it didn't feel good.
It didn't?
No, the lack of sugar did not feel good. There was like headaches the first few days. I was like, oh, well, I'm addicted to sugar. Well, I didn't even know. And
But
then
all forms of sugar, like even just bread?
well, yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, bread, even alcohol,
yeah?
fruits. You have to be
Fruit,
careful,
too?
even how much fruit you eat.
Really?
Yeah, like someone had a glass of orange juice, and they were talking about it. They were like, think about how many fucking oranges go into the glass of orange juice.
Right.
It's probably like 7 oranges. Like, who the fuck sits down and eats 7 oranges? And we were laughing, and I was like, yeah, but not even with fiber.
Yeah.
Like, you take the fiber out, so your body's like, what is all this goddamn sugar?
Right.
But we have it in our head that sugar from fruit juice is healthy,
Right.
but sugar from Coca-Cola is not. But apparently your body doesn't know the difference.
But if you eat an apple, does the fiber offset
Yes.
how much sugar?
It does have an impact. It does. Yeah.
So in a positive way.
Well, yeah, your body's that's
Right.
how your body's supposed to get sugar.
Right.
It's supposed to be attached almost like as an incentive to eat things that are healthy for you.
Right.
So the vitamins and the fiber are all intertwined with this delicious flavor that makes you attracted to it, and therefore like you eat an orange, it is in fact good for you.
Right.
So it's healthy.
But you shouldn't go
Juice.
crazy with it.
Yeah, you just shouldn't have 20 ounces of orange juice
Right.
just squeezed out.
Right.
And especially when we have that concentrate stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's not even really orange juice anymore. It's like this weird frozen thing.
Yeah, but when you like with your kids in the morning, do you feel like you should give them some orange juice if they're like feeling kind of
like
you wanna
vitamin
boost
C
their-
wise?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, vitamin C is definitely good for your body. It's a good antioxidant.
When
And
you see them run down and
yeah,
you're just
I mean,
like,
look, it's not the worst thing in the world for have a little orange juice.
Right.
What I'm saying is like a big ass glass of orange juice is a jolt of sugar to your system.
4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I prefer. I don't drink fruit juices anymore.
Yeah.
I just,
I don't either.
but I still eat fruit.
I
But
do
I
too.
just think that juicing is very problematic in that way, that you could just figure out a way to condense all the sugar from all these different fruits into
Right.
one thing that you jolt into your body in just a few seconds. You chug a glass of orange juice. I mean, that's an instant,
shot.
yeah, tidal wave of sugar. Whoa.
I take glucosamine.
That's good. And chondroitin, do you take those two together?
No, just glucosamine.
Those are both really good. Glucosamine's good. Glucosamine was actually, I think, I might be wrong about this. This came from this book by this guy, Dr. Joel Wallach, who wrote this book called Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And he was talking about mineral deficiencies and how few doctors really do understand nutrition and how they give you really shitty advice, but really
Yeah.
they're completely uneducated. They might be a good podiatrist or a good orthopedic surgeon or what have you.
Right.
But how many of them actually understand the mechanisms of nutrition? That's where Dr. Rhonda Patrick comes in.
Right.
She's a fucking genius when it comes to that. Like
Right.
whenever I have any questions about different nutrients or vitamins, and she will just go over the tests, and she's super analytical and objective about it
Right.
too. Like she'll tell you the pros and cons and goods and bads and what could happen, what could be going on, and what is definitely going on.
Right.
So there's a lot going on when you're eating food. There's a lot going on when you're taking in nutrients.
Yeah. And a multivitamin. I take a multi. But
One-
there's so many.
Yeah, one multivitamin is problematic too because you're taking something that's condensed down to one hard little cube.
Oh, yeah.
And you're dropping that, and you're hoping your body digests it in time and absorbs it. I find that powdered ones in capsule form, at least I think, absorb better in the body. And I take a pack. I take like what's called
yeah?
a Pure Athlete's Pure pack.
Writing it down. Pack.
Yeah, it's Pure Encapsulations is the brand that I use, and they have these Athletes Pure packs, and I just they're great because they're like a meal's worth. I take them with me. I can have like 2 or 3 in my backpack.
Right.
Actually, I do.
And just pound it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well,
Do you take this
I don't know
stuff
what they
too,
are.
or do you kind of,
I just
has it
started
rubbed off
taking
on
it
you?
a little bit? Yeah, the amount of time I've been hanging out with him is
Yeah.
starting to, and I need to take advantage of it. But yeah, I just started taking some stuff.
Yeah. You
What's
look
that
good.
sound?
This is microphone.
That microphone makes that sound? What's going on with it?
There's too much electricity over here.
You're a fucking electric
Wow.
man. You're alive. It's alive.
There's a lot of electricity going on here.
There is, right? If you stop and think about it.
When I think for my podcast, when I use like this little recorder and just, it's no reason. There's a reason it sounds so shitty.
Well, just all the vape pens we have in this room alone. I know I have one of those.
So
in
how
this
many
bag.
things do you take in the morning? Like 12?
No, in the morning, especially lately.
Yeah.
The morning, I've relaxed a lot of what I do as far as like my diet.
Yeah.
Because in the morning, a lot of times I'm not hungry.
I know.
And I used to eat because I felt like I had to eat. But then I read this thing recently. You know, they say that breakfast is your most important meal.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
That's what I've heard.
It's bullshit. What's important is meals.
Right.
They say that breakfast is not your most important meal, that it's just a meal.
The idea of like loading up so you can go on about your day
Yeah.
is like, sometimes it slows you down.
Yes, and then the carb loading is what a lot of people do. They're eating cereal, and that's just going to cause a crash.
Right.
You ramp it up with the carb loading. Your body has to process all that shit, and it's like,
But a nice cup of coffee and some sourdough toast.
that's what you do. That's your move. And
Once
then
in a while.
and you get to know I made this fucking toast. This is mine.
It's my goddamn
comes
toast.
from
I
my-
made this for my family.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny when I go on the road now, that's the thing that they miss.
The toast?
The bread.
Really?
They're like, you got to
Yeah.
come back. You've been gone a week. We were out of bread.
Oh, they get upset that daddy's not the little bread factory.
It's cool because they used to miss me for being a person, and then then that passed, and now they want me for my bread.
When you go on the road, do you do just weekends, or do you ever do a tour?
I do weekends.
Me too.
Sometimes I'll tag it with, like, if I go back east, I'll tag something in New York, like TV or radio, and then so I'll be gone for a week. Mm-hmm. But I never go like city to city.
Yeah, I don't
I
either,
come
man.
home.
Yeah, I don't. Like my friend, you know Duncan Trussell?
Yeah.
Duncan's on a 30-day tour now.
Really?
He got a bus and everything. He's a
Wow.
maniac. He's traveling around the
Do
country.
you have a family?
Nope.
Yeah.
He's got a dog.
It's a
I
different
think
thing.
he brings it.
That's a different thing.
Says his dog helps him. He's got one of those emotional dog licenses.
I call those the fake service dogs.
Yeah, you know those things? You
Yeah.
can- what is it called? An emotional needs dog? Yeah, you can have an emotional needs dog.
Yeah.
They bring them in restaurants. It's so
I
fucked
know.
up.
It's so fucked up.
Because they violate health codes.
I know.
Just by saying, I need my dog with me.
I know. I was in New York. The woman was feeding a dog from a spoon at the table, like sneaking him food. It's like, how's this okay?
It's not okay.
I was just in a hotel in San Francisco. They were giving dog biscuits in the lobby, and you walk through the hall, there's dogs just barking their heads off because dogs are allowed in hotels.
Well, I love dogs.
I do too, but
But-
you don't have to have a.
I don't even mind dogs in hotels, but dogs in restaurants, like, come on.
You ever been next to a dog that's barking all night? Because
No.
because the owners are out partying or doing whatever they're doing, and leave the dog. Yeah,
Really?
and you're the.
They should have someone come in and euthanize it. No, I don't mean that. You shouldn't have even said that. You're right. You're right. Look, sometimes things come out and you don't mean them to.
Sometimes you mean them, and you just pretend that you don't.
I
as an
would
apology.
like if some dog next door is barking, I would like the key to the room so I could open it up and go, dude, it's gonna be all right. Relax. Here's a biscuit.
Yeah. Here, dude. You relax. No, I can't. But this is why I'm embracing the 21st century, because I am on the road. I'm in all these weird places, and it started to feel like run down and stuff. And I wasn't. Here's another thing: is I wasn't eating meat for a long time, and I started eating meat again, and I feel so much stronger. I literally would be in the green room like tired. Like I'm I'm not old. Why am I tired? Before a show at 10 o'clock, and I really think I just wasn't getting enough protein. I really was just like eating salads in between. Once I started kind of drifting back.
Were you vegetarian or vegan?
Vegetarian. Well, I would go back and forth, but mostly vegetarian.
So sometimes you were
vegan for like
for a whole year?
Yeah.
How'd that go? Did you start
hard.
criticizing people?
It's hard. I got very snotty.
Yeah.
I felt better than everyone. Like I thought I was better than everybody else. No, it's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, you got to really make sure that you monitor your protein correctly. Like people say, where do you get your protein from? And they're like, what about this gorilla? Listen, bitch, you're not a gorilla. Okay, you're not a fucking horse either. Horses eat hay all day and they're fine. They have giant muscles.
Right.
Your body's different, dummy. Like people need certain amounts of protein, and you certainly need a complex amino acid profile. And some proteins that you're getting from plants, they don't have a full amino acid profile. So if you're gonna go vegan and you want to really make sure that your diet is balanced, you got to really do some reading. Really pay attention to what. Quinoa's good. Quinoa's really good. Hemp is one of the best.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hemp protein. There's some stuff that we sell at Onnit called Hemp Force protein powder, and it's one of the best ones because it's super easy to digest, a very fine protein.
Yeah.
It's really expensive because we have to get it from fucking Canada. It's one of the goofiest laws that we have going today in this country that you can't grow hemp.
Still.
Yeah. Well, some states are allowing it now, and it's eventually going to roll out, and it's going to be nationwide. But it's one of the easiest things to grow.
Yeah, it grows like bamboo.
Grows
like
crazy.
Weed.
Doesn't require nearly the amount of service that other plants do. It's essentially it's a weed.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is it's a full amino acid profile.
Right.
And there's only a few plants that are like that. I don't know what other ones. But there's a couple.
In all honesty, I was doing it for health. I was doing it because I have a lot of high cholesterol and heart stuff in my family, and I was like, I didn't want to go on any drugs, and I was like, I'm just going to keep it at bay, and I'm going to eat clean, and I ate that way for a long time, and eventually, just this last year, my genetics kind of caught up to me, and it was like I'm eating this way, and still my cholesterol was high. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go on a statin and lower it.
You are?
Yeah. And
what about exercise?
I exercise.
What do you do?
I run and weights.
The reason why I asked this is Anthony Bourdain was on statins, and he got on statins just because his body was he was constantly going on the road and traveling and drinking and eating food, and his body wasn't responding well to that.
Right.
And he had real problems with his blood pressure, and just decided, well, I could either restrict my diet, which to him is offensive.
Yeah.
Because he's a chef, and it's a big part of his thing.
Yeah.
And especially with his job.
Yeah. Eating stuff all around the world.
Get on these statins. So he got on the statins, but then he got into jiu-jitsu. Got obsessed with jiu-jitsu, lost 30 pounds, got off the statins.
Yeah.
Now he's super healthy.
Well, that's the thing. I had high cholesterol, and I said I'm not going to go on the statins. So I increased how I was working out. I went vegan for a long time and lowered it. I was able to lower it and keep it at bay, doing that for a while. And it just started inching up, started kind of coming back. And I don't know. So I just figured it's the 21st century. Let me embrace the technology.
But there is negative consequences with your liver. Isn't that correct?
You have to be tested. You have to stay on top of it. You got to do your blood work. Or
is that an issue?
I've only been on it for a couple months.
Oh, so you just recently got on it.
Brand new.
Now, have you ever thought about cutting bread out and pasta and sugar?
Yes, I've thought about it. And I didn't like what I was thinking.
While you're eating a sandwich? Imagine if I couldn't have this.
No, the bread thing is really new. Like, I wasn't eating a lot of bread. This is pretty new, and I do love it. The problem, honestly, is I grew up. Food is a celebration. Food is a way to unite people. It was a big Italian family.
Yeah.
Pasta was a part of it. And I was like eating as a vegan. I walked into a Italian grocer in Burbank, and the salamis and the prosciutto are hanging from the ceiling next to the provolone, and there's pastas and there's breads and there's gelato, and I'm like, my ancestors would just pummel me in the alley if I was like, I'm not eating this because I'm a vegan. And I'm like, it's too much fun. It's too much fun to celebrate and live life and do this. So if I could just do that once in a while, I can't say I'm going to be a vegan and not eat that stuff for the rest of my life. I'm not going to do it.
Of all the people that I've ever suggested healthy diets to, no one looked at me more disgusted than Artie Lang. When Artie was in here and he was talking to me about it, he's like, I gotta lose weight, and he's talking about this, and I was talking to him about cutting off pastas and breads and all this, and he looked at me like, what the fuck are you saying? He was like offended.
Yeah.
Like in his eyes, somehow or another, he is going to eventually figure out how to lose all this weight without changing a goddamn thing about his lifestyle or his diet. But that kind of thinking is also why he's so hilarious.
So funny. You know, he's
just a wild motherfucker.
A wild motherfucker that devours everything around him.
Including gambling. You ever talk to him about gambling?
Yes, he's a cyclone.
I put $500,000 on this to win. Like, what? You put what? Hold on. How long does it take you to make that? 500,000. You had a $500,000 bet.
Right.
Oh my God! Like I hear shit like that, my palms start sweating. I am terrified of gambling because I know way too many people that do it.
Yeah.
And rich people.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like my friend Dana White, who's the president of the UFC. He's rich.
Right.
And he will gamble, and he's lost as much as $1 million in a night.
Wow.
Fuck that.
$1 million.
Dude, I wouldn't be able to sleep for a month.
No way.
I'd be freaking the fuck out. I'd be freaking the fuck out. I'd be like, what am I doing? Like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, well, like, why is that worth it? Like,
We won $7 million one night.
what?
Exactly.
$7 million?
$7 million. Won it in one night.
I wonder how different the rush is winning $500 to $7 million.
Oh, it's way different, Tom Papa.
Really?
It's $6,995,000.
Can you go up to the guy like, I want it now? I'd like to take this with me now.
Well, they don't like to pay you.
Right.
Because like they like to keep it in the casino.
Sure.
And
$7 million.
They paid him in garbage bags. They wanted to give him cash. They didn't even give him a bag. He had to go and get garbage bags. So they came back with those fucking black hefty bags, and they stuffed $7 million in hefty bags, and then left the casino.
And said, take it if you want it?
When you have $7 million in garbage bags and you're leaving, you're like a small child with a sandwich walking through a room full of wolves. It's like, maybe you'll make it to the door. Maybe one of these wolves is just not going to listen. Like,
gee, how many bags would that be?
I don't know. If it's $100 bills, which I assume it is, right? I know there are $1,000 bills, correct? But
There are.
Have you ever seen one?
No, I wonder who's on it.
Your mother.
There's even a
Oh,
Hey, mama!
there's a $5,000?
There's a $500 bill.
Oh, really?
Yes, I recently saw someone hand it to Trump and he signed it or some shit like that.
Really? Huh.
Do you feel like you're deprived when you eat this way?
No.
You don't feel deprived of anything?
No.
Because
No,
it doesn't
because
seem...
the benefits are extreme. Like physically, I feel great. And
So-
this is like the stuff that I just drank, the stuff in front of you. This is exogenous ketones because my body's essentially in a ketogenic state. So I take this mineral and amino acid supplement. It's called Ketogenics.
What's a ketogenic state?
Ketogenic state means your body's burning fat as opposed to burning carbohydrates. And one way to manipulate that state and to make sure that your body stays ketogenic, is you take exogenous ketones. And this stuff allows your body to go back into a state of ketosis, which means it's primarily using fat as fuel versus using... Meanwhile, people right now are going, will you stop fucking talking about your diet, Rogan? Jesus Christ!
I'm interested. Screw
Tom
them.
Papa brought it up, folks. I wouldn't have said it. You're all right. Nothing happened. We're good.
I'd like to eat lean. I'd like to cut some of that stuff. I don't eat that much
You
bread
ain't
and
cutting
pasta.
out shit, buddy.
I would. I'll do it.
You and Artie Lang get together and come up with a diet plan.
I'll do
It's
it.
called the Make Believe Diet Plan. Let's make believe one day we're going to do something different. No, I don't feel different because I still eat like really healthy and really delicious foods.
How's this different from Atkins?
Atkins is mostly protein, and the problem with that is, and it does kind of put you in a state of ketosis, but that's not really what your body wants. Apparently, your body wants more fats than it does protein, and there's
Oh, so you're eating fattier.
yeah, but what I'm eating is like a lot of avocados, a lot of coconut oil, a lot of things along those lines, almond butter, and when you eat a lot of nuts and things like, you're getting fats that are healthy,
Right.
oils and fats that your body processes really well. The biggest benefit, and this is something that my friend Denny had said to me, and this is one thing I recognize too, is cognitive. Like I'm more awake
Really?
during the day. Yeah, and I'm
That's
even.
huge.
Like the way I am right now here at 12:20, I'll be like this at 7:00 at night.
Really?
I'm even through the day. I was never even before, man.
No, you
I would
crash
have-
in the afternoon.
I'd have these fucking meals, then I'd want to take a nap.
Yeah.
That's not there anymore. So after I eat, when I eat, like what I normally eat is like salads with avocado and some sort of piece of protein, whether a piece of fish or chicken or something like
Right.
that, or meat. When I eat like that, I don't get tired.
Right.
It's my body's telling me like, look, this is way more efficient. It's way better for us, and it's not like I'm eating fucking cardboard and tofu.
Right, you're
It's
eating-
delicious food.
Yeah.
It's just no bread, no pasta.
And what about your family?
They eat whatever the fuck they want.
Do you sit down and eat dinner
Yeah,
with them?
Yeah.
And
I'll
you have a different
occasionally-
meal than they do?
Well, I just eat different stuff. Like one of the things I eat, if we have pasta, I eat squash. I take squash, like zucchini squash,
Right.
and I run it through this machine. It's like this thing that spins. You
Uh-huh.
crank this handle, and it twirls this zucchini through this cutter
Right.
that makes these little swirly pasta-like noodle things.
Right.
And then I put spaghetti sauce on that.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
And your kid's like, Dad, what are you doing?
They don't mind. They even eat some of it. They're used to it.
Right.
My kids have eaten everything. Like
Right.
that's exactly what it is. Oh, that's right from my page. That's the see it twirls it
Wow.
into those noodles, and then that's ground venison.
So, Joe, if you eat like this and then that one meal you had pasta, does that blow the whole thing?
No. But it puts you out of it knocks you out of ketosis. But
Right.
this stuff right here knocks you right back in. It's like even you could have like a syrupy glass of soda and then have this stuff,
Yeah.
and it'll put you right back into ketosis.
Really?
Yeah. It's just manipulating the way your body processes fuel.
Right.
And I just find, just for me, that when my body, and not just me, like Brendan Schaub, my buddy who got on it a few months ago, like
Yeah.
2 months ago or something like that, he's lost a shitload of weight. He looks great. Everybody I
Really?
know that's done it loves it.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't think that your body's meant to eat that much sugar and that many processed carbohydrates. I just don't think it is.
No, they're not.
You can do
Absolutely.
it. You can do
Absolutely.
it.
That's even like with this bread. It's like, that was the only thing that would be the carb that you would eat. You know what I mean? You would
Right.
have a little, the percentage in your diet was so small.
Right.
Then you were eating vegetables and you're eating
Yeah.
meats and fish and nuts and
Salads, folks. Eat some fucking salad. It's so important. That's one of
all
the
I
things that
eat.
drives me the most crazy about vegans. One of the things is they'll assume that you don't eat what they eat.
right.
Like, like vegans, like
Right.
this guy was like telling me like, I'm eating all these vegetables and I'm getting all these nutrients and you're not. I go, well, actually I am, because I'm eating all those vegetables too.
Right.
But I also have steak.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you like, this idea that they're mutually exclusive is so stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, you definitely should have vegetables. Everyone
Yeah.
should eat vegetables. But the idea that you shouldn't eat meat because we're not designed for meat, that becomes like an ideological argument. Then they start saying things like, like the body was not designed for that. Human beings are herbivores. No, actually we're not. It's not only that, it's proof positive. It's been proven that one of the main reasons why the human brain got large is because of meat consumption.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the monkeys figured out, look, there's better protein out there. We're
Right.
going to start eating some, whatever the fuck they ate. What did they eat?
You see, they just found this Walt Whitman guide. Someone found it in a library. It was like this finding of a Walt Whitman stuff that he wrote that people hadn't seen before, so they got excited. It was about health. It was about a guide to being a healthy man or something. And the first
Really?
thing was eat meat.
Yeah, of course.
That was his first thing.
Well, that's what people thought back then.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that was super important. Did you see that thing recently? They discovered the remains of a mastodon that had been slaughtered by people. I think they found it in Florida in a bog or something like that, or a sinkhole. And it was 14,000 years old.
Wow.
So it threw a monkey wrench into the timeline of people being in North America.
Oh.
Because it pushed it back by 1,500 years. So it's like a new mystery as far, like they've really just, there's a lot of just rampant speculation. Once you get past a couple thousand years ago,
Yeah.
they're like, who the fuck knows? There's
What
like,
we were doing.
Yeah, there's current theories and they try to work on them and they try to, they're trying to decipher the past based on these little small clues that they dig up here and there.
Right.
And occasionally they dig up a new clue and they just go, whoa, okay.
Right.
All right,
That's what
everybody,
they were
let's
doing.
get together. Let's get together because we just fucked our timeline.
Right.
We got to go back and
They were eating
rewrite the whole
mastodons.
timeline. Yeah, it's pretty cool looking though.
Is it?
There it is. Yeah, they pulled it out, and a stone knife, mastodon bones, and a fossilized dung found in an underwater. Can you scroll that down, please, young Jamie? Underwater sinkhole shows that humans lived in North Florida about 14,500 years ago. According to new research, suggests the colonization of the Americas was far more complex than originally believed.
Wow.
I love stuff like this.
So cool. Yeah. It's like learning about a mystery culture.
I'm unbelievably fascinated by the idea that people lived like us. They were like us.
Yeah.
14,000 years ago, and they lived
Yeah.
these crazy existences where they were just hanging together in these little tribes, and they relied on each other deeply, and
Right.
and that was the only way you could survive. You had to get in these small groups of like 50 people, and everybody stuck together. And
Yeah.
you had to gather food, and everybody had a responsibility. And there's a direct connection between social behaviors today and hunter-gatherer needs thousands and thousands of years ago. Like the
Right.
reason why women are so talkative and social, and men prefer like people being more stoic, and men don't like when men talk too much, because those men would fuck up hunting trips.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, if you were
That
out
makes
there
sense.
hunting, and the women would get together, and when women were gatherers, women's jobs were equally as hard as men, if not harder, because they were in charge of farming. Like the men were gathering at least vegetables and foods that you could find, and the
Right.
men would go out and hunt. So the hunters learned how to prize being stealthy and quiet and keeping your shit together under pressure.
Called cool.
Yeah, keeping their cool together when you're sneaking up on an animal and all your nerves are firing, and
Right.
you have to execute a shot or throw a spear, and you have to get the job done. Whereas women, they get together and they start talking about this one and that one, and she says this, and I'm not
Picking
fucking
vegetables.
Bitch. Yeah, and they're sitting there by the river, avoiding crocodiles, washing underwear, going, "This fucking bitch thinks that she's gonna take my man."
Does your husband come back from a hunt and not talk? I mean, how can you be out for a whole hunt and have nothing to say when you come home?
Oh my God, I come home and I'm just yap, 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 yap. And he's like, will you shut the fuck up? I think I heard a stick snap. A stick snap. There's a lion in the bushes.
Honey, I just got home. I've been out hunting all day. Just give me a minute before we start talking.
I was watching this thing the other night about the Maasai warriors, and they're mostly herders. They have all these cattle, and it was really crazy because they had like 10-year-old kids helping out. Like these 10-year-old kids are herding cattle,
Right.
And they're just doing jobs.
Get to work.
Yeah, get to work.
Yeah.
At 10. And one of the things they had this village that is in the middle of this incredibly wild area. I mean, they're surrounded by buffaloes and lions, and all around their village, it's a very small little village, which is really an extended family. It's like the mothers and the fathers and their families and brothers and sisters and their families, and everyone lives together in this one little extended village with all their livestock. But all around their tiny village, they had thorn bushes placed to keep lions out.
Oh, really?
That's their fence. Their fence is just making it uncomfortable for lions to move in and kill them.
Oh, jeez.
So fucked, man. I was watching it, and apparently that's not their biggest danger. Their biggest danger is buffalo.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man. Those fucking Cape buffalo, I guess it is. I don't know which buffalo. That's what they look like. Yeah.
That's a buffalo?
No, that's a baby. That's a little tiny person. Little tiny Maasai person.
Their buffalo are so weird.
They're weird. They look like Babo.
They wear clothes. Why does he have a robe?
Walking around naked. It's cute. Cute little.
And they still survive today? They're still Maasai?
Yeah. Yeah. So see those bushes that they have set up like that?
Yeah.
That's how they keep the lions out. They just make it uncomfortable for them. They set up these
Smart.
perimeters rather around their house. But the buffalo, I guess it's Cape buffalo or water buffalo or one of the buffaloes. Tanzania. Look up dangerous buffaloes.
That's where I'm going.
Of Tanzania. When are
I'm
you
going to Tanzania
When?
in August.
Dude, I'm thinking about going in August.
Are you really?
I'm thinking about going on the safari with the family. What are you doing?
August 5th through the 16th.
What are you doing?
I know a guy that runs these resorts there.
And you're gonna go?
We're gonna go safari.
The family?
Yeah.
Oh shit, Tom
Yeah.
Papa.
Yeah.
Look at you. Maybe we'll be there at the same time. We'll ignore each other though.
We could
pretend.
We could meet.
Pretend you don't know.
We could meet and pretend we're hunting for like a minute. Then I gotta go
Gathering
back
up
to my woman.
Stuff for bread.
Yeah. What if they don't have bread? Do you?
They do, right?
Yeah. You got to tell me where you're going.
Yeah, we haven't decided yet. We're deciding on a family trip this summer, and it'll either be Europe or Africa. Those are the two potential destinations now, and I haven't really. I don't know.
Wouldn't it be cool? This is mine. I'm thinking. I never really had a real draw to Africa, but the idea that I could get my children to Africa, it feels like a good thing.
I think those are wildebeest, Jamie. Son of a bitch.
Tanzania.
Those right down there. That one right there. See that one right down there that guy is right in front of? I guess that's a dead one, huh? What is that? That's some sort of a buffalo, right?
Yeah. That's a giant ass buffalo.
Yeah, that's enormous. Well, those things, apparently, those buffaloes that they have in, just find out what kind of buffalo, because I keep saying buffalo. There's a name. But those things apparently are the most dangerous thing in Africa.
Oh, really?
Next to hippos.
Hippos
are the most dangerous.
Hippos.
Cape buffalo or African buffalo.
Oh, okay. So I was kind of right. But those fuckers, when I was watching the show on the Maasai,
Yeah.
one of the ladies had gone to get water and she got jacked by a buffalo.
Really?
Yeah, you're too close. They go, fuck you. And they just run at you. They're like, think of a bull, like how mean bulls are.
And fast.
Yeah. I mean, bull riders, those bulls are just like, fuck you, kicking them off.
Right.
I mean, that's what these goddamn things are, but times 10.
Oh, man.
They're enormous.
What about the hyenas? That's what I'm worried about.
Scary, too.
Those things are evil.
They're all scary. They're mean. You know, hyenas are one of the few animals where the female is larger than the male to keep the male from eating the babies.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they don't give a shit.
They're so mean.
And their jaws are super strong.
Yeah, like some of the strongest bites in the world. I think the only thing stronger is like crocodiles.
On these safari things, you can't go out, like you can't go to the bathroom at night.
Is this the buffaloes?
Yeah, the
Unless you have an
part,
armed-
If you can read that.
What does it say, buddy? Oh, okay. Other than the big five, it is known as the Black Death or Widowmaker and is widely regarded as a very dangerous animal. It gores and kills over 200 people every year. Jesus Christ. Buffaloes are sometimes reported to kill more people in Africa than any other animal.
Yeah, but look at that picture of Hemingway. He just killed that thing.
Although some of the claims are made by hippos and crocodiles. You mean you could definitely kill them.
I'm totally killing it.
They don't taste good, though. My problem would be with one of those things. Well, you can absolutely eat buffalo. Like a buddy of mine shot one with a bow and arrow, but he said he was practicing with his bow and arrow for half an hour while chewing one piece of meat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like literally, it's so tough.
I had buffalo this winter from the
bison.
Yellowstone area. Oh, I had bison.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh, that's delicious. Yeah, that's a
really good.
different kind of buffalo. Well, there's a real controversy, and this isn't a good thing to bring up now because I found out something yesterday. There's a big controversy that's going on in Yellowstone because they're culling a large number of bison from Yellowstone, and these people are freaking out about it. And they're freaking out about it from a couple different sides. But one of the reasons why they say they're killing them is because there's a large population of them. There's no hunting in Yellowstone. And these animals are traveling to outside of Yellowstone, and they're using the land that ranchers use for cattle. So, like, there's public land that ranchers have rights to have their cattle graze on.
Okay.
But then these bison are intruding into these land, and they're saying that the bison carry brucellosis, which is apparently a very dangerous disease for cattle because it makes their babies stillborn. But there's no evidence, apparently, that brucellosis is transferred from bison to cattle. See, one of the guys that was on the Twitter exchange that I was having last night was explaining that, and I said, really? I said, well, why are they killing these animals? They're saying that they have brucellosis, and they're worried about them transferring it to cattle. No evidence that they've done it. So I go and look at it, and apparently it's true. Apparently elk are more likely to transfer brucellosis to cattle, but elk don't use the same grazing ground. They don't graze the same way that cattle do.
Right.
So what these buffalo do is they're competing for grazing ground, and they're using the brucellosis as an excuse to slaughter them.
Oh.
And so they're just going in there and shooting them, and they use all the meat. I mean, they're bringing all the meat to, it all becomes either gets donated to Native Americans or they butcher it and sell it.
So you're allowed to shoot them.
They're allowing a cull of a certain amount of them, but apparently it's hundreds of them. And, people that love seeing those things at Yellowstone are kind of freaking out because they're doing it because of cattle operations, really. It's really a thinly disguised, like, protection of cattle land.
It's a strange thing because you bring them back and they get to a certain number, and then that number becomes too large. But too large for what? Too large
It's only too large for a very small area.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the way that the humans are living. Like, in New Jersey, they have this, there's so many deer, you want to shoot more deer, but it's because it's the most densely populated state in the Union. There's just...
Well, they don't have a predator. That's the real problem with deer.
Right.
With deer require a prey-predator balance that we have in California. Like, California has a weird thing going on. And I like it in some ways, and in other ways I don't like it. One of the things that I do like it is that what California has done is allowed mountain lions to kill the deer.
Right.
And you can't kill mountain lions. So there's no hunting of mountain lions. One of the few states that has a large, healthy mountain lion population where hunting's not regulated. So the problem is wildlife biologists don't agree with that. Wildlife biologists think that you have to manage the numbers of mountain lions just like you manage all the other animals. But on the flip side, because you don't hunt mountain lions, you see very little deer. It's very hard to find. Like, deer hunting in California is diminished radically since the 1990s when they instituted this no mountain lion hunting.
So the mountain lions are just eating them up.
They're going like crazy. And there's a lot of mountain lions. There's a lot. There's a friend of mine who is he works on a ranch called Tejon Ranch. And Tejon Ranch has this one water hole where they have a camera set up to photograph whatever animals in there.
Oh, yeah?
They found 16 different mountain lions on one water hole.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Well, they create those breezeways, like over the freeways and stuff.
Well, they're trying to do that. I don't know if they have actually done that.
Yeah, no.
Have they actually
I've seen
built
them.
it?
Yeah.
Where?
I've seen them, I think on the way back from Palm Springs.
Imagine going up and jogging on one of those things.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that video of the lady in Florida where she's on like a small bridge and a panther runs by her?
No.
You never seen it?
No.
Oh my God. It is a shit your pants and a half moment. 'Cause it's big, man. It is big. Yeah, well, the Florida panther is another animal that was like on the brink of extinction. And it's the same animal. It's a mountain lion.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a
same
puma, panther, mountain lion, same animal.
Just different colors?
No, not even different colors. This one is mountain lion color.
Different outfits?
Yes, they have different nail polish and stuff. But this, watch this video. Look at this. This lady's on this bridge. Check this shit out. It's crazy. Will you hear it? Give us some volume, young Jamie. Look at this. So she's hanging out. She's walking on this bridge. She's like, look, everything is so pretty.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy shit.
What in the fuck, dude?
He just wasn't interested.
What in the fuck?
Thank God.
What in the fuck? That's a big cat, too, man.
Yeah.
So it's this wooden bridge in the Everglades, I think it is.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy
He got
shit.
scared. He was just as scared. Did you see that?
Jesus Christ.
They were talking about him out here, and they showed a guy who was working on someone's house,
Yeah?
like in the Hollywood Hills. And the guy just comes out. He's like doing the plumbing or something. He's like, there's something in there. It's really big. They just put like a flashlight on this giant stick, and deep under the house, that was his den.
Oh, my God.
He was just living in there.
Living under his house.
Yeah.
There's another video that I posted yesterday, Jamie, of this guy where a fucking huge bear comes running at him full clip, and the guy jumps up and down and screams at the top of his lungs, and it turns around and bolts
It
last
worked?
minute.
Really?
Yeah, but yeah, it's on my Twitter. but like last minute.
Oh,
I
my
mean,
God.
it got like as close as Jamie is to you.
Grizzly?
Huge.
Jeez.
Huge. I mean, like 700 pounds. It is a fucking enormous, this bear. Look how big this bear is. Like, wait till you see this video. You're going to shit your pants. So go full screen, Jamie. It's not going full screen? Yeah.
Here you go.
Wait, you're going to shit your pants, dude.
Swedish man.
So this guy, he sees it in the woods, and he starts running up to him. Where's the volume, buddy?
It's all wintry.
Why is no sound? There's definitely sound. We got to hear the sound because the guy screams at it. Hold on, we got to figure out. what's
Wow,
going
it worked. Holy shit. I never even thought that would work.
on. What's that? Well, it's definitely got sound, so let's figure it out because you got to hear it because the guy goes. Ah! But look how fucking
put his arms
big
out
it
to the
is, man.
side.
Look at the size of it. It's running at him, like running at him.
And he was able to scare it. He reels back like he's scared.
Well, he went for it. You know, look. Fuck you! Get the fuck away from me! And the bear's like, oh shit! Look at him.
Ja, ja, ja.
Look how big he is, and look how much bigger that thing is.
Wow.
That's like 4 times, 5 times bigger than him.
Oh, my God.
Look at the size of that thing. Oh my God, that makes me freak out.
If he had turned and run, he would have been eaten.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing ran at him like it was dinner time.
I was that close to a bear
Where?
in Alaska in Denali.
Jesus. A grizzly?
Yep.
What the fuck?
Big ass
dude?
grizzly. We woke up in the morning, and we were in backcountry for a couple weeks, just hiking and walking around. And we woke up and we were making our breakfast, and we look up on a ridge, and there's this big ass bear. This is September, so it's like late. You know, it's like they're getting ready to hibernate. And he's walking down the ridge, and as we're packing up, and you're up the ridge is actually where we were cleaning our dishes and doing all this stuff. And now we're back at camp. We're breaking down to hike out, and we see this thing go walking down. And just dumbasses. We're so lucky we didn't get eaten. The guy, we pack up and we just start walking in the same direction that the bear was going. We're like, he's not going to be going. He probably is beating us there. So we're walking through these reeds, these like bamboo kind of little reeds, but they were only like 6 feet high. And there's like 8 of us, maybe 6 of us. And we're walking with our packs on, and you just hear whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And you see the reeds separating, whoosh, whoosh, slowly though, like it's not coming fast, just whoosh. And we're like, what the hell? That's probably the bear. We see that it's the bear. And, you're supposed to do what that guy did. Put your arms up or at least freeze and don't. Everyone in the group took off. That's the one thing you're not
they ran? No.
And
my God.
I'm frozen in the pose, me and my one friend, like you're not supposed to do. We run, and we're in our and they're, they take off with their backpacks.
Oh, my God.
But the bear, thankfully, just by a stroke of luck, this thing was so fat and tired in the end of September, he just wanted to go down low, get some more berries, and take a snooze. Was not interested in us at all. He was just
You're so lucky.
so lucky. But I swear to God, it was from me to the end of this table.
Yeah,
Just
well,
walking.
when they're gathering up berries, that's when you're safest. 'Cause
Yeah.
they get in their head that that's what they want to eat. They eat a lot of berries.
Right. He was not interested.
Dude, fuck all that, man.
So
Fuck
close.
those animals. There's another. I mean, I love that they're there. I think it's cool, but god damn it, they scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
There's a video of these guys. They're hanging out by this river, and they have like a little lawn chair, and this bear, this enormous grizzly bear, just walks up and sits down next to them. Have you seen that one, Jamie? Close encounter with grizzly bear casually walks up to people.
No.
And they just had to talk to him. They're like, hey, man, get the fuck out of here. And the bear just gets up and leaves. But, I mean, he's like a school bus. It's so...
like a minivan. I always describe it like a minivan.
Did you find one? Yeah. This is it. Look at this. Look at this.
Wow.
Look at the size of this. It just sat next to his chair. Just pulls up to his chair. Look
What
at
a
it.
beautiful animal, though. Look at that thing.
Oh, man, they're gorgeous. With
What are
their
you supposed to do if that's you?
You can't do shit. Can't do shit. Because, look, you don't want to provoke it,
No.
you know, and you definitely don't want to back up. That thing is just chasing salmon right now.
Yeah, you don't want to yell at it.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't think you're a threat, they're really dumb, all right? In their mind,
Yeah.
man, not dumb like
No.
I mean, like dumb. Like if they were a person, they'd be retarded.
Right.
But, but they're simple. They're simple. They're predators. You know, they get in their head like what they want to do.
Oh my God, he's just sitting down. Yeah. This is awesome.
He just decided to chill.
What a clear shot. Look at his
dude.
Look at his claws.
Yeah.
One swipe.
I mean,
your face is off.
The guy who's filming this is 10 feet away from him.
He's right there.
And he eventually talks to him. He's like, "Hey, get out of here." Like the bear looks at him and like, "Maybe I'll eat you."
Hey,
watch
guys.
this. Look how close it is.
The bear looks like a little
man.
annoyed for a second.
Dude, the thing just wandered towards him. Seriously.
Holy
oh my God, they're everywhere. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now I don't even feel bad for that guy. Back that up. Like, watch how they go to the river.
Yeah.
This guy's sitting with a lawn chair by the river while 1, 2, let's see, 3,
4,
5, 6, and that one 7. Oh my God! Oh my God! There's a dozen bears. There's a dozen massive grizzly bears.
15 at least.
Oh my God! I'm so scared. Oh my God! There's more. Look at those other 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my God!
How funny if you pull back and the guy with the camera is a bear.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
They're the coolest animal. That's my favorite animal.
Pretty goddamn cool until they're eating you.
Yeah.
And not so cool.
No.
Yeah.
Just
well, they're so cool to
peeling your
look
head
at.
off. They
They're so
are.
cool to look at.
When they get up,
yeah.
and they're just, oh.
Have you ever eaten bear?
No.
It's good. Brown bear is not so good. Like those are not so good because they're mostly predators. But black bear, they eat a lot of berries and like it's traditional. Like hunters have been eating bear forever. I thought like when people went to hunt bear, before I became a hunter, I was like, why would you want to shoot a bear? That's kind of stupid. That's like it's gross.
Like, why
I thought of it like trophy hunting, like someone who goes out and kills a rhino or something like that. Like, oh, why are you doing that, man?
Right.
You're just doing that to stuff that thing or something.
Yeah.
But no, they eat them. And
who
the
turned
first
you
time
on
I
to
tried
eating
it-
a bear? To hunting a bear.
My friend Cameron Haynes is a bow hunter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's like, they taste good. Don't listen to anybody. He's like, everybody has this idea in their head that you don't eat them. He goes, that's not true. Up in Canada in particular, like where we hunt, it's traditional. Every year, people go out hunting bear in Alberta.
Really?
They're delicious, man. The way I described it is like a deer and a pig. It's like a combination of deer and pig.
Deer and pig.
Yeah. It's an interesting it's almost
Yeah.
got like kind of a beefy flavor. But they make roasts out of them and all these different things.
Jeez.
And they have to keep the population down because they don't have any predators. So there's massive numbers of them, and they slaughter the moose and the deer. And so people up there who prize moose and deer, which is like really important for their food, that's most of what they eat.
Right. Yeah, I've heard of people hunting moose. I never heard of people hunting bear.
Yeah. There's a lot of bear hunting, a lot of spring and fall bear hunting. Apparently fall is the best because when they eat berries, especially blueberries, they actually get a blueberry tint to their fat.
Oh, really?
And their meat smells sweet.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, that's really weird, but your body, like those grizzlies are bad to eat because they're eating raw fish and rotten fish all the time. They eat like carcasses. Like if you eat a bear that's been eating like a dead moose, like if a moose gets killed and they just eat the carcass, it tastes terrible. So like you are what you eat, and you can apply that to yourself. Like your body literally is built up, as we were talking about earlier, of the nutrients that you put in it, the food that you put in it, your dietary choices.
Right.
That's the same thing with bears. So these black bears that are living up there, they're mostly eating, look, when they get a chance, they eat a lot of fawns, like deer fawns and calves, moose calves, and occasionally they can eat an actual deer, like if a deer breaks its leg or fucks up. Most of the time, deer can get away when they're full grown.
Uh-huh.
But the ones that eat the berries, they're delicious.
And this is like
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that the same guy?
That's a picture from the place I looked it up. It's called the McNeil State Sanctuary in Alaska.
Oh, my God.
No one has apparently ever died there, but all these bears come, and for 3 months they gather and just gorge on salmon, so they're not even looking for that.
Oh, okay.
That's
See,
amazing.
That's one of the cool things about those bears.
Yeah,
When they're in those situations, like they just have it in their head, like, okay, we're just eating fish now.
I'm eating fish.
Look at how many of them there are. That's amazing. We're looking at a photograph, and Jamie, where'd you find this photo?
I just googled McNeil animals.
So there's, in this image, there's
Games.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 bears just in this one photo.
Jeez.
and they're giant.
That is the
Giant
coolest.
grizzlies. Kodiak is the weirdest place, man, because Kodiak is an island, but it has the biggest brown bears in the
It
world.
says they're brown bears though too. But
Is that where
brown bears and grizzlies are the same
Is
thing.
that where Grizzly Man bought it?
Yeah.
That was Kodiak?
No, he bought it in Alaska.
Oh,
he bought it in a place called the Grizzly Maze, which is a place where, what is he eating there?
Dumb place to go.
Is that a fish?
Looks like-
yeah. It's a piece of fish.
Looks like crab.
But Google the giant bears of Kodiak because they're the most enormous grizzly bears, or brown bears rather, in the world. When they're on the coast, they call them brown bears. When they're interior, they call them grizzly bears. That's the difference. It's the same
I never
exact
knew that.
animal. That's a dead one. Look at the size of that thing.
Jeez, that's massive.
Whoa! What the fuck, man? Is that fake? I think that's a trained bear, actually. Yeah, the guy. I see the guy.
Right,
But I
yeah.
think that's a trained bear. I think that's like a movie bear. Look at that one down there. Look at that one right below with the guy standing there with the rifle. Above and to the right. Above and to the right. It's okay. Yeah, look at that. What the fuck,
Look at
man?
his feet.
Look at the size of that
Look
thing.
how big his feet are.
And you know what's crazy? There was a bear that was way bigger than that, called the short-faced bear that we brought up the other day, that was apparently the most fearsome predator in North America up until like 11,000 years ago. Look at that thing running. Oh, God. That is so wild. It's so crazy that this being exists.
I know.
You know, because if you didn't have bears, if they weren't real, and then it was in a movie, you'd be like, imagine if those things were running around. But they really are running around, and we just get so used to them.
When you hike in the backcountry like that, you have to put all your food in these containers, like these black containers,
And hang 'em.
The first time I did it, I was like, I had all this food, and it's like, oh, so you just put it in a bag and you hang it up there? They're like, no, you put it in these cylinders, sealed off, and then you put them. You don't even have to hang them. You can just get them out of the way because they're just completely sealed.
Right.
But the amount of food you can fit in that is like, you'd have to bring all packs of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, has to be so small. You have to live so small because they just come. And sometimes you're in your tent and you just hear,
Fuck that. Well, they have dehydrated food and freeze-dried food. And freeze-dried food is you just add, like certain
Right.
hot water to it. But dehydrated gets really, really small.
Right.
Like, so you can pack a lot of food into a very small area. You just have to figure out how to add water to it.
it's got to be like, I haven't done it in probably 12 years. The amount of improvement that must have gone on in those 12 years has got to be mind-blowing.
From the food?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like just going into the camping section must be like a whole futuristic thing now.
I think the big improvement is dehydration versus freeze drying. I think
Right.
that as far as like space, like
Yeah.
how much space that you save.
So when you see a bear and you're there with your little bow and arrow,
Yeah, you're fucked.
are you
Not good. Not good.
are you scared?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, if you see bears, you should be fucking nervous as shit. I mean, most likely they're not going to come get you, but they might.
If you miss, like if you hit it in its knee, will he be pissed and come get you?
Perhaps. Most likely they'll run away.
Right.
Most likely. I know a guy who knows a guy whose friend was attacked. This is very several steps removed.
That's how you
But
know it's a good story, though.
First hunting trip ever. I think they were hunting for deer. He's in his tent, and he gets mauled in his tent by a 500-pound predatory black bear.
500 pounds? I didn't think they got
500-pound
that big.
Oh, they get bigger than that.
Do they really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I thought black bear were like the small bear to the...
No, they're sometimes small, but that's when they're juvenile. Like, they have a hard scrabble life, man. Most of them get eaten as cubs by
Right.
other bears. Bears are cannibals.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially black bears.
each other?
Oh, yeah. Well, brown bears, too, but black bears get enormous. A friend of mine just killed one that was 8.5 feet tall.
Jeez.
Yeah, look at this picture. I'm going to show you a picture. And you're going to go, what? Look at the size of that. That's black bear.
Whoa, that's big.
8.5 feet. Or 8 foot 3 inches.
So you're deep in the woods. You kill this thing.
Yeah.
How you get it out of there?
Well, you got to cut it up. You cut it
Right
up and
there?
you pack it out. Yeah, you have to. There's no other way. Unless you have a large SUV or something that you can drag it into.
But you're walking in.
Yeah, if you're walking in, you're going to have to pack that out.
Jeez. Do you
Yeah.
take his head?
You take everything.
Take it all.
Yeah, if you're going to kill an animal, I think you should take everything.
Right.
You should take all the meat for sure, and like these skulls that you see, like that deer, and
Right.
the deer, that moose, and the deer over there, and the elk that's out there. Those are all.
Right.
It becomes like, I don't want to say a decoration, because it's way more powerful than that. Like if I had to choose like anything to keep in this room, it would be the skulls. Like if they're like, you could take a couple things in this room, everything else is to go. I'm like, I'm not letting these skulls go to waste. It's just it means too much as far as like.
Right. There's a spiritual level to
Well,
it.
there's
A connection.
It's like these animals. There's a bunch of things that happens. You eat them, you shoot them, you eat them. They become food. You have friends over. I'm going to give you some elk when you leave. Give you some ground elk. Yeah, I got a whole freezer back there. filled with
Really?
it. Yeah. It's delicious. You'll love it.
Can you dunk your bread in it?
You can make elk burgers with your sourdough bread. But I feel like there's a responsibility. Like you're the caretaker of their skulls, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
This is right when vegans shoot themselves. Like, I can't take this anymore. What you got there, Jamie?
The biggest black bear supposedly they found it weighed up to 900 pounds, they think. It was
Oh
in
my
Wisconsin.
God. Look at
Wow.
the size of that fucking thing. Bear expert Jeff Traska saw Ted in Ted's lifelong Wisconsin home and estimated him at over 900 pounds. Ted then went into hibernation and lost weight over winter, 20% loss, 80 to 120 pounds. Ted arrived here at the North American Bear Center in 2007 and still had a huge belly. He weighed 860 pounds. So they captured him? Is that what happened?
Jeez. Wasn't there a real popular bear that just got shot in Yellowstone?
Yeah. He got shot outside of Yellowstone by a poacher.
It was a poacher?
Yeah. It was a bear that was dying already anyway. He'd lost
But
like 50% of his body weight. He was all scarred up.
He was like, people knew him. Like he was
Yeah.
a legendary bear.
Mhm. Yeah. He apparently had scars all over him. That's how you could tell what he looked like from fighting with other bears. His face was just ripped apart.
A lot of marriage,
Yeah.
right, fellas?
Love and marriage, love and marriage. Get your shine box, Mia.
You and Polanski can hit the skids.
That's another thing I'm doing this summer. I'm going to Yellowstone. I haven't been to Yellowstone since I was a kid.
Oh, man.
I'm going. I can't wait. I hope we see some wolves. That'd be the coolest shit ever.
It's the coolest.
Yeah.
I saw wolves, moose, and bison.
When did you go?
When my wife and I were dating, first started dating, which would be 18 years ago now.
Now, when
on a
you-
motorcycle. Wow.
You went to Yellowstone? You fucking rebel.
Cross country for 5 weeks.
Wild ass
Her on the
fucking
back.
professional comedian. You must have
Wow.
thrilled her. Like, I found a real man. A
Oh,
wild man with a motorcycle who wants to fucking go chase down a moose.
I don't want to stay here. Let's go to the Days Inn. That was me, not her.
Did she want to camp on the top of a rock?
But we camped. We did a lot of Days Inns across the country. But when we got to the Tetons in Yellowstone, we camped.
Oh.
And man, in the tent and looking across this field at just bison, like early morning, like 5 a.m., just watching bison do their thing.
Wow.
And you just woke up there too.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You know what's so cool about that? That park is essentially the same way it was 100 years ago.
Amazing.
Like you're sitting there and these animals are living. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's near Old Faithful.
Oh, it's the greatest.
What amazing animals bisons are.
Incredible.
I mean, just they don't even look real with their crazy beards and their big stupid heads.
And their high heels.
Yeah, right? Like if you're going to have an animal that big, why would it have feet so little?
Little dainty girl feet.
Like Chinese foot binding and shit for giant bison.
He's got a Thelonious Monk goatee.
What is the color of that ground, Jamie? Why is it so orange like that? Yeah, but go back to that picture
the
with
sulfur,
the bison.
right?
Is that what it is?
Probably.
God, it's so beautiful. That's so crazy looking.
Oh, it's the craziest.
Crazy that is a volcano that just has like a leaky spot.
It's so amazing.
I went when I was a kid.
And there are lesser geysers as you go around. You know, it's not just Faithful.
Yeah. But it's a giant volcano. They have something like 2,000 earthquakes a year there, maybe even more.
Oh, yeah, those little baby ones.
Is that a wolf?
That's a wolf. That population came roaring back too.
Well,
that is
they
really
brought-
successful.
They brought them back.
Yeah, that's
it
what-
wasn't that they came back. They brought wolves from North America, from Canada rather. They're different.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they're larger. They're larger wolves, larger gray wolves from North America. I keep saying that. From Canada. Look at that little cute fucker.
Hey,
What
what
is
was
he?
that guy?
A little white. Is that a white fox?
Don't forget about me, fellas.
What is he? A weasel?
Yeah,
That's a
the
weak
bear's
Go
a
back
big
to
deal,
that.
but I'm a big guy too.
Look how cute.
Hey, look at me.
Hey, fucker. Hey, you fucker. You got a sandwich for me? That's a white weasel. God, he's so adorable.
Yeah, take a look at me.
What a little. Isn't it funny that's a little murderer?
Right, exactly. A little scavenger.
If a rabbit sees that, he's like, fuck! Fuck, 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 fuck! Whoa.
What the hell are you doing?
Ferrets are illegal in California, but pit bulls aren't.
Fuck the bears. Come hang out with me.
Listen, we're going to be in this log. We're fine. The bear don't even know we're alive.
They're practically retarded.
There was a photo, a cute little bear cub. There was a photo that I had on my Instagram page of a bear with a groundhog in its mouth. Like completely in its mouth with just like the feet are poking out at the end. You're like, oh, these fucking things are so big. They're just eating machines, man. This all day.
Gigantic. You know, it's my new animal. Who I saw a documentary. Bears are my main animal, but this year's animal is the beaver.
Beavers, cool.
Holy cow. Those things are amazing.
What a weird fucking animal, too, huh?
Weird.
That weird ass tail,
Just going to work.
nasty ass buck teeth.
Changing river flows.
Yeah.
They stuck some beavers in Nevada,
What a
and they
fucker.
brought back a whole region just because
Yeah.
they manage the water.
They do some weird shit, man. They all have a weird place. That's one of the coolest
They're
things about
weird.
nature is these weird places that every animal has in the system.
Yeah. These things are amazing. They just go in and just go to town. They change the whole bottom of the lake and the river. They just take all of the wood and they stick with their family. They're very family-oriented animals.
But what a strange animal that like regularly chews down trees and builds structures.
I know.
Like what?
Just constant.
What other animals like that? None.
None.
Sorry,
This
none.
guy just goes to
Look.
work with his face.
But how does he know? How does he know to chop down that tree?
That's
Like,
what he does. I'm a beaver.
That's what I do, buddy. I'm a fucking beaver. I chew.
What asshole saw that and thought that'd be a good nickname for a pussy?
Right, exactly.
Like, let me see your beaver.
Let me
What?
see your beaver.
What is? Oh,
You
there's
know,
one
with
down
the,
there.
there was one.
There was one down
Damn
there.
it. This is why you can't look shit up with your kids.
Oh, that's not the kind of beaver we're looking for, honey. If I had to pick one animal that I could see in the woods, like accidentally see, like wandering around, I think it'd be a wolverine.
A wolverine?
Yeah, just to see them. Like apparently they're really rare to see.
Yeah.
Apparently you could like be like a woodsman,
And never see a
or a woodswoman
A woodsman.
for many years.
I'd like to be a
And not-
woodsman.
Would you?
Yeah.
You get bored after a while.
Yeah, you smell too.
You could shower. You could shower or bathe in the river.
You don't.
Go down the stream.
You're not
Whoa,
doing
look at that
laundry.
wolverine.
That's a wolverine?
Yeah.
You don't want to see that?
Yeah, you do. They don't really attack
Where
people.
are they? They're like
they're
in
North
Austria?
America. What in the fuck? Look at his face. No, they're in America.
What?
For sure.
Like in Yosemite?
Oh, guaranteed. They have some wolverines out there.
Oh, look at that. Look at those teeth.
Ferocious little animal.
How
man.
big is that? Looks
I don't
small.
think they get that big. I think they're like 50 pounds or something. Oh, look at this asshole kid. Jesus fucking Christ, kid. Oh, it's on a leash.
He's on a leash.
How's that wolverine on a leash?
I don't want to
How'd
see
that
that.
happen?
That thing looks gross.
Oh, it's a beast.
It's got like a sloth body and a
Oh, come on. Look at this one.
messed
this
up
guy's
face.
got a couple of them that he's holding on to. They're adorable. They're adorable.
I don't like him.
You don't?
No.
They're in the weasel family, apparently.
I like a nice beaver. A nice laid back guy. He's got a tail, little teeth. He goes to work. He can't really talk to you. He's working on his projects.
You prefer the animals that are non-threatening.
No, but I love the bear. The bear is my main animal.
I think wolves too. I think wolf would be like if I could see a pack of wolf take
Oof.
out a deer. I think that would be like
That
the
would be
coolest
cool.
shit to
This
see.
is why we got to go to Africa. We're going to see
Whoa.
so much shit.
Whoa,
We're going to see a lot of stuff.
you think?
A lot of stuff.
What are you gonna say?
Everything eating everything. There's going to be lions eating bears, eating zebras. No bears. There's going to be lions eating zebras. There's going to be giraffes being ripped apart.
Yeah.
This is going to put everything in perspective.
How long is a flight?
Going through Amsterdam from New York. I'm going to go to New York first. Then I'm going to go from there to Amsterdam to Tanzania. And that's like, I think, a 16-hour ordeal.
So it's
With
like
a stop though.
from L.A. to what is this, Jamie?
LA to New York is 5.
Giraffe chasing these
Oh my
people.
God, they're getting chased by a giraffe. Look at the girl's face. She's fucking panicking.
Holy shit!
They really are getting chased too.
Yeah, but-
That's legit.
It's not gonna.
So what do they
catch
do
up.
when they catch up to you? They spit on you?
No, they
lick you?
swing their heads like a weapon.
Swing your head at me, I'll knock you the fuck out.
Oh
How
yeah,
about that?
I'm totally. I'm riding one of those things. That's what I keep telling my kids. I am riding a giraffe. Like, Dad, you can't ride giraffes. Don't try.
You can do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Especially wild ones.
Mom,
They
tell
don't know
him you
what you're
can't ride a
doing.
giraffe.
Did they really argue about
Yeah,
that?
they do. So we keep it going. Of
I have a
course.
picture. We were at the San Diego Zoo recently, or the Santa Barbara Zoo, and
It's a good one.
the giraffes are one of the few animals. I actually had a bit about this in my act. They're one of the few animals that I think are better off in captivity because they don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like other animals look so sad, but giraffes are
Pacing.
like another day with no lions, and they just wander around. Like they don't seem to mind at all. Like
funny.
their behavior is so predictable that they let babies feed them.
Right.
You
Right.
can hold up a piece of leaf, and a baby will come over and take it from, or
must mean
the
he's
giraffe
smart.
will come over and take it from the baby.
must
No,
mean
they're
he's-
just really chilled out animals.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. But they're fucking mean to other giraffes. They fight to the death. They beat the shit out of each other with those lumps on the top of their heads.
Yeah, they swing it.
And
like
one
a-
of the other things they do, they keep food away from younger giraffes. And the way they do it is they eat all the low-hanging leaves, and they do it to try to purposely starve out other giraffes.
Really,
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, man.
they're arrogant.
Well, they'll eat lower leaves. Even though they can reach the higher ones, they eat lower leaves. And it's speculated they do it because of competition for food, that they want to, like, literally box out these giraffes and let them starve to death.
Jeez. Well, that's the thing. Everything's mean. A friend of mine went.
Everything's mean.
And they have a similar problem that I have, which I have a cat that's just a killing machine. It just kills not every day. It's just birds,
You let it out?
birds, lizards. You can't keep it in. It's a wild. It just wants to. It will nonstop. It's like I'm going outside, so So we're kind of freaked out, and we're like trying to stop it and putting bells on it and all this. And my friend had the same thing with its cat, and went to Africa, came back and said, "Everything eats everything. I don't care."
Yeah.
It's just like it put everything in perspective. It's just like this is how the world works.
Well, this is certainly how nature got to 2016. It didn't
Right.
get to 2016 by everybody just waiting in line for food.
Being polite.
Yeah, there's a number that they put at house cats, like how many animals they kill every year, and just in North America, it's in
Yeah.
the billions.
Billions.
Billions in birds and in mammals.
Yeah.
Billions of birds and billions of mammals. They're just ruthless little fuckers.
They are, and people are complaining now. They've heard these stats, and they're like, "You shouldn't let your cats out." And you guys, it's just
Nature's
no,
cleanup
That's
crew.
the way it goes. That's how nature works.
Well, if they didn't do that, though, if they didn't have those instincts, honestly, like coyotes, if coyotes weren't out there doing that, if all these animals weren't out there doing that,
Yeah.
we would be overrun with rodents, first of all.
Yeah.
There'd be mice everywhere.
You're right.
Because there'd be nothing to eat them. If it weren't for birds and hawks, and
It'd be like living in the Bronx.
we have this issue at our house where we just recently installed this fence in our backyard that's glass. And we used to have a metal fence there, but now it's a glass fence. And the hawks haven't figured it out yet.
Oh.
So every now and then you hear thunk, and we'll go outside.
What are they coming in for? What do you have there?
They're
Chick-
swooping down to kill shit.
What do you
We have
got?
chickens,
Oh,
but
'cause
they're
it's
not
chickens.
killing the chickens. But one did disappear that we can't totally put a finger on what happened to it.
Oh, yeah?
Could have been a coyote, though.
Yeah, that'd be bird on bird.
We've seen, but bird on bird super common.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like black on black crime.
And no one wants to
happens.
talk about
Nobody
it.
wants to talk about it, but it happens.
But it's real.
But a friend of mine was sitting in his backyard, and he watched a hawk come down, scoop up a dove. Said a dove was just sitting there, just chilling, and all of a sudden,
Really?
he said it happened like 20 feet from his face. He was like, "What the fuck, man? This raptor just came down from the sky."
Yeah, they
the-
take pets.
But
So
these
wait, you-
hawks, they swoop down.
Yeah.
You know, when they're looking for things and they're looking to make their approach, and they just get the fuck O'd.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and sometimes they die. Like we've had one of them died on us, but one of them we had to take to one of those wildlife like rescue places,
Yeah.
and they fixed it up and took care of it. And then another one recently got knocked the fuck out, sat there. It was a pretty big hawk too.
Yeah.
And my wife took video of it, like, "Hey buddy, how you doing? You all right? Back up, girls." And after she took video of it, the thing eventually got ghost and woke the fuck up and flew away. But
Do
it's pretty
coyotes
cool.
come after the chickens?
Yeah, we lost one pretty recently. I watched it happen. I watched the coyote hop over the fence.
Oh, really?
It was weird.
Hopped
dude.
over the fence?
Hopped over the
How
fence.
high a fence?
6 feet.
What?
Yeah, hopped over it like it was nothing. I mean, just boink, went right over the top. They're super, super agile, man. Like in a weird way. Like you're like, wait a minute, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
it went over that fence like it was nothing. I'm trying to find the video. Oh, here it is. This is the one where my wife was talking to it. Look at that thing.
Guys, don't get close, please.
Look at it. That's just a hawk. See it in front of
Yeah.
the glass fence?
Yeah.
He's just chilling. It's a big ass
big.
fucking hawk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's big.
Yeah, he survived.
It looks like you live in the Amazon.
It looks like it. He survived, but he got fucking crack
He
dunk.
just- really?
They just fly at full speed right into this dunk.
Maybe you got to put
Oh.
some stickers on it or something like what you do for your grandma so she doesn't go through the sliding glass door. Put a Marge Simpson picture on it.
I just found this video. I was looking for hawk swooping. These people let a little bunny go.
Oh no, I've seen that.
5 seconds later, it's
Yeah, that's
oh, look
awful.
at the little girl, little cute girl with her little bunny rabbit. Oh, no.
Where's your mommy?
it's gone.
Instantly. Instantly.
That thing just flew in. She's asking where its mommy is, and then a raptor.
But that's. I mean, in some ways it's cool. Some ways I think that's beautiful, but in other ways, like, yeah, the baby's cute. But what is it about us where when we look at like very small versions of animals, like I had a picture the other day that I put up on my Instagram of this giant grizzly bear with her 3 cubs.
Right.
And I was like, God, look how adorable those little cubs are. They're so
Yeah.
beautiful. But what is going on with us where we see these little things? What is cute? Like in quotes. Like look at that. Look at that picture.
It's a genetic thing.
It keeps us from wanting to kill them.
It's our genes, and also to protect our own.
Yes.
It's also to let them thrive. I mean,
Yes.
you see a baby, you want to
Yeah.
protect it.
But like when you look
That's
at
why,
those,
whenever remember when that Connecticut school shooting was like these tiny kids, like kindergarten.
Right.
That was such a mind blowing
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Because those are the faces we want to protect.
yeah,
You know, it's just the instinct,
yeah, and there's a
pure
lot.
instinct.
There's so many crazy fuckers that don't believe that really happened.
Oh, please.
Have you seen any of that? The like people that like think
The
that
deniers.
yeah, that all of these school shootings are like false flags.
Right.
Like, do you really think that you can get all those families to lie about losing their kids?
Exactly.
Like these families are all operatives.
Yeah,
they're
we
all
have
the
so ma-
CIA.
Please. People are so shitty. People always talk, always. There's no way you can organize that many people to keep a secret.
But it's just amazing that people actually would believe that. Like that would be something they would entertain.
Well, they're mutants. That's against nature. That's
Yeah.
to see this thing and
Yeah.
think not like, how do we make sure this doesn't happen again? When your head goes to, it's a lie. We're gonna keep going, please.
But there's a weird thing with people. They want to believe that a lot of things are lies. Like a lot of things.
Yeah,
Like
because the admitting that it happens is admitting that it's chaos.
But there's weird shit going on today. Like because of the internet, people have these forums and these YouTube pages where they make up this nonsense.
I
and then
know.
they have. I saw a guy the other day
It's-
he's a flat Earth guy, and he had a video about how dinosaurs are a hoax. 2016.
Yeah.
Video about dinosaurs being a hoax. I'm like, wait a minute. So all these paleontologists for like what 150 years have all been full of shit.
All in on it. All in
Oh
on the
my
same story,
God.
generation to generation.
Oh, also doesn't believe that satellites are real.
Right.
Satellites are not real. They're really what's going on. We have planes, and the planes are flying very high, and they stay in orbit, and they're transmitting the signals.
Lord.
And the world's flat.
This is a real problem, though. And
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the extreme part of it. Like, those people really believe that, and a majority of people do. But just basic thing, there is no truth. The internet is devouring truth.
Sort of.
That you can literally have real intelligent people just talking about unemployment rates, just talking about the government, just talking about how the economy's doing.
Right.
And you can have people saying it's been lowered to below 5% of unemployment, and other people are saying No, that is completely wrong. Inflating these numbers are complete. And these are two groups of intelligent people with degrees and putting out these facts. It's the same thing as the fish oil thing. It's like I can look up, any fact you can want to bring up, you go on the internet and you'll find the opposite, and not from like what looks like crazy people.
Yeah.
The truth is, what is the truth anymore?
Well, I think right now what's happening is virtually anybody can start a website or a Twitter page or whatever and say anything they want. And they don't have to be correct.
Right.
But if they convince enough people, they'll get a following, and then through that following, they can get a bunch of people that get confirmation bias and only look into the information that supports all this craziness. Like there's no satellites and the earth is flat, all that nonsense. But I think this is almost like a temporary blip in our road to absorbing information. I think right now, information is coming from a bunch of different sources. A lot of them legit, most of them legit, but then some of them that are just really wacky like this, where it gets the sidetrack thing where people just start thinking about chemtrails or thinking about UFO abductions and getting absorbed in it. But I think one of the next stages of disbursement of information is going to be direct brain to brain. And I think we're going to share information in some way that is as alien to us as the internet would have been to people that lived 150 years ago. Like if you try to explain Google to someone who lived 150 years ago, they'd be like, you're out of your fucking mind. That is never going to happen, ever. But to us, it's like, well, Google it, Jamie.
Right.
You know, it's like it becomes normal, right? Well, I think the next stage of that is you're going to be able to access information that directly comes from someone's mind, and meaning that you're going to be able to share thoughts. I think thoughts are going to be, they're going to figure out a way to take whatever frequency and whatever signal that a thought is, and you're going to be able to condense it and project it and send it to people. And you're going to be able to access other people's thoughts. And you're going to be able to know what's truthful and what's not. It's not going to be a matter of, boy, I hope this guy's telling the truth. You're going to be able to know, like pretty much instantaneously. I think that's whether it's 100 years from now or 200 years from now. But all in all, if you look at like the Roman Empire, or look at like long periods of time where one group dominated one aspect of civilization, 100 years ain't shit.
Right.
But to us, 100 years ago, 1916, it's like might as well be Mars.
Yeah.
They might as well be from another world.
Yeah.
You know?
But that go back to your marriage thing of what your wife is thinking when she's having sex with you. You're going to know.
You're going to know. You're going to see that.
And crazy people can send their thoughts just as easily as...
No, but you don't necessarily have to share in those thoughts. But I just think that you'll be able... Look, these are obviously science fiction notions right now, but I think that... Look, when you send a text message to someone, or if you put out a tweet or a Facebook message, you're essentially condensing a thought into some sort of a digital representation of that thought, and then you use the right language, then you send it out there. I think that what's going to happen is it's going to be direct thought to thought. We're going to be able to interpret thoughts, and then we're going to be able to know whether or not someone is actually being honest or they're bullshitting.
Right.
I think. I mean,
that'll end our careers. Well, that's what they say. This is an extension of your brain. This is my brain to this brain to your brain.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you're going to bridge that gap.
That is a bridge, right?
Right.
It's a bridge to minds and information and ideas. It really is, in a lot of ways. And I think this is just one step. As technology exponentially grows, we're not just going to accept typing things into a glass screen that'll eventually be send and then put it up there. It's going to be more complex. It's going to get better. They're going to figure out new ways to integrate that technology into human bodies.
Right.
That's going to be really weird, like neural implants and things along those lines.
That's going to be really wild.
Because when they figured out, like, see, you wear glasses, right? Yeah. One day they're going to say, listen, Tom, you don't have to wear glasses. All we have to do is install one of these new internet neural apps. And once we do that, you'll be able to see crystal clear. There's a way that this neural app reworks the synapses and changes the way your eyeballs interpret the cones and rods, interpret the world around you, and you're going to be able to change it.
Yeah, but I think they look good.
Your glasses look awesome. You look smarter.
No, it's true.
Why do you look smarter when you have glasses?
I don't know.
Everybody does. Like chicks look way smarter.
Yeah. I don't know why that is.
Don't they, though?
Depends
know
on the
if dudes-
glasses.
Dudes look like you know, like you can't see good.
Right. You're like,
But girls look smarter. Girls
You're
with
like Mr.
glasses.
Magoo.
I don't assume that they have something wrong with their eyes. I assume, oh, she's smart.
right, exactly. She's clever.
But then Sarah Palin fucked all that up.
Yeah. She said, like, oh,
She had glasses.
yeah, she's a moron.
Yeah. She's as dumb as that bear.
No, but. Dum, da, dum, da, dum, da,
She's
dum.
a Trump supporter. She's a real Trump supporter. You fucking Trump supporter.
You liberal piece of shit.
Do you think he's going to win?
You know what? I talk to a lot of people who think it's an impossibility, but the further we go down the road, I think he's cunning, and I think that it's a real possibility.
It's a real possibility. But you know what I think? If I was a conspiracy theorist, but I'm not, I would say that what Donald Trump is doing is making us happy about Hillary Clinton being president. Because it's the only way we're going to be happy about Hillary Clinton being president.
Right.
Like, Hillary Clinton represents the establishment in about as clear a form as we've ever seen before.
Right.
No question.
Yeah. No, and you know, she's intelligent, and when she was Secretary of State, both sides liked her. Like, she was really positive reviews from everybody. But you're right, it's exactly the same old, same old.
You ever talk about, or you ever read the Secret Service talk about guarding her?
No.
They think she's a sociopath. They said
Really?
they said, first of all, she doesn't thank anyone.
Uh-huh.
And she doesn't talk to them. They guard her 24/7, and she doesn't talk to them. They say, there's a guy who was one of her secret, I mean, he might be a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? He might be
this
a
is
moron.
one guy's report?
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's more than one.
Uh-huh.
But the reports were that she's just, there's something creepy about her.
Right. Well, there's something creepy about everybody. That's another problem with the idea that you're going to find one perfect person is so off the charts. I mean, everybody's
stupid.
flawed. Everybody's, you know, especially if you play that game for that long, you're going to be dirty. You're going to be duplicitous, but that's part of what you've got to be.
Yeah, that game. That's a dark game.
It's a dark game.
Did you ever see the video of her talking about Gaddafi? She's laughing. We came, we conquered, he died. Or came, we saw, he died.
Really?
Yeah, and she's laughing. She's doing an interview, and off camera, before they interview her, they're rolling the camera while they're talking to her.
Right.
And she's laughing about Gaddafi dying. And you're like, what? Wait, what?
Right.
Hold on. Who's the person that we see that's all measured and calm? Like, that's not you for real?
Yeah.
Like, is that an act?
Right, yeah.
Because she was like throwing her head back laughing.
Oh, boy.
And there's like this really weird way. Like, watch this. Watch this. Hold on. Go all the way from the beginning.
So, I mean, that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
No, I'm sure it did.
Whoa.
That's a little weird.
Well, it's not just weird. It's strange. What
Yeah.
is the Hillary Clinton lying for 13 minutes straight? What's that about? Play that real quick. But I think what you said
It's
is
so fun. It's so-
super important that,
No one's perfect.
yeah. And not only that, this business.
Yeah.
Immigration policies, now you say they're too harsh. You supported his trade deal dozens of times. You even called it the gold standard. Now, suddenly last week, you're against it. Will you say anything to get elected?
Well, actually, I have been very consistent over the course of my entire life. I have always fought for the same values and principles.
She's not looking at him.
Do you think New York State should recognize gay marriage?
2002.
No. Okay.
I believe that marriage is not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman.
2004.
I have not supported same-sex marriage. I've
2010.
supported civil partnerships and contractual relationships. I support marriage for lesbian and gay couples.
2013.
I support it personally and as a matter of policy and law.
So you're saying your opinion on gay marriage changed, or you changed your mind?
You know, I have to say, I think you are being very persistent, but you are playing with my words and playing with what is such an
I'm just trying to
important
clarify
issue.
so I can understand.
No, I don't think you are trying to clarify. I think you're trying to say that, you know, I used to be opposed and now I'm in favor and I did it for political reasons, and that's just flat wrong. So let me just state what I feel like you are implying and repudiate it. I have a strong record. I have a great commitment to this issue, and I am proud of what I've done and the progress we're making.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to clarify what I was saying. No, I was saying that you maybe really believed this all along, but, believed in gay marriage all along, but felt for political reasons America wasn't ready yet and you couldn't say it. That's what I was thinking.
No, that is not true. It really is great how long you've supported gay marriage.
Yes. I could have supported it sooner.
Well, you did it pretty soon.
Could have been sooner.
Fair point.
Okay, I think we've seen enough.
But, so...
That's just a liar.
No. Really?
That's a liar.
Well,
yeah, for sure.
You're lying. But who isn't lying?
To Terry Gross, she was lying. Like in that interview where she was saying that she always supported gay marriage. I think old people forget that there's the internet.
Right.
They forget. They forget that when they said something in 2003, there's a videotape of it.
Like you'd much rather hear her just say, "Yeah, I was."
Yeah, I was against it.
I was against it because I didn't think America was ready for it,
or that she changed her own mind.
Or I changed my mind.
I mean,
just say you changed your mind.
I hate the term flip flopper.
Right, because you can evolve.
Everybody's a flip flopper.
Right.
If you're not, then you're the same person you were when you were 5.
Right. Exactly. That's right. Let me tell you where I stand on this Santa thing.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Right? I mean, at the end of the day, like, fuck, man.
But look at what now look what we're faced with. You're faced with, that's the big thing on her, is that she's a liar.
Right.
And Trump, who is the biggest liar.
Right.
But you know what I mean? But he at least says he admits he's a liar.
But
you
does
know
he
what I
say
mean?
he's a liar? Like, what has he lied about? Like, what's been proven that he's lied about? I'm sure there's been something, but what has been?
He goes back and forth on everything, and
What about Mexicans? He's pretty strong on that.
He's pretty strong on that, but then says that maybe that was just an idea. Maybe that was just an idea.
Is that what he says recently?
Yeah.
Maybe it was just an idea to put up the wall?
Yeah, that was the thing that he said in...
well, now he's in the home stretch, right? Or at least he's round in third.
Yeah.
He's round in third.
Right.
More proof Donald Trump is a serial liar.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, he's got a hot wife. So I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Because I'm a piece of shit. Like all men, I'm a piece of shit.
Who's that broad you're with?
I think he won because his wife is hot.
I wouldn't mind that dame in the White House. I'll tell you that right now.
Hillary Clinton's built like a box.
There are, of course, look, lying, politician and lying. What kind of a baby are you that you think that these people don't lie? Tell me one president other than Jimmy Carter, perhaps, that isn't a liar.
I don't think Obama is a liar. I don't think Obama's a liar. I do not think he's a liar.
Yeah.
I think that he has changed his position on some things, and I think that he said some things before he got into office that he wasn't really supporting, or he didn't really support once he got in there. But I think he is a remarkable person in that, as far as guys that have ever run for president or been president, I like listening to him talk, and I like his personality more than I think anybody that's ever run for president or been president.
Yeah.
And people get mad at me for saying that. Obama's, what about what he's done about free speech? Obama, what about what he did about whistleblowers? What about? I get it. Yes, yes, you're right. Not perfect. Not even what I'm looking for. He's not what I'm looking for. But out of all the other people that have done it, I'm like, man,
thoughtful,
remarkably thoughtful and measured.
Thoughtful. His speech that he just gave at Howard University, amazing.
Was it? I didn't listen to it.
Nobody speaks with such clarity. I don't understand the rage. I really don't understand the anger and the rage.
Well, first of all, we don't like a black man running this fair nation, especially when it's a Muslim who was born in Kenya.
Yeah.
Can you understand that?
Yeah.
You're about to go to Kenya.
I guess those people are just louder.
You're about to go to
than other
Africa.
people.
Why don't you go look where he was born? You'll know once you get there. This is the spot. This is the spot.
We're going to miss him. I'm telling you, when he drifts off and
for sure.
we're left with one of these guys, it's going to be like, wow, remember when someone was at the helm who was just at least calm and had perspective? That's the thing about Trump that makes me the most nervous, is just knee-jerk reactions, which can have real consequences, that we saw not too long ago with
for sure,
other presidents.
Trump was a birther. Remember?
He was the birther.
Yeah.
Another lie. Another calculated lie. You don't tell me he believed that.
You don't think he believed it?
No.
Why was he saying it?
Because he was taking him down. He was using it. He It caught fire.
But why was he
This
taking
guy just
Obama
says
down?
shit.
Like, what was the whole point behind that?
For where he is now.
You think like he was thinking even back then when he was being a birther, he was thinking that he was going to be president?
Yeah, he ran before this.
He did?
Never caught. Yeah.
I don't remember that. Did he?
Yeah, he declared that he was gonna go, and it never really caught. He would always come out and at least flirt with the idea, and that's what kind of puzzled me with this one. It was like, oh, he's just doing it again. He's getting some PR. Here's the presidential campaign. He's attaching himself to it, and then this time it went further.
Oh God.
He tried pretty hard in 2000, I think.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so weird. I forgot about that. I blocked it out.
Duplicitous.
Oof.
Say whatever you can. The thing about him that really scares me is that he's the kind of guy that takes the bait. He's very sensitive and takes the bait. And whenever you're dealing with terrorism, I think this is the thing that Obama is doing more correctly, is he's not, anything that happens, he doesn't just freak out and say, we've got to act.
Right.
Because that's what they want. These are small entities, and they do things to draw this big power in, and that's how they diminish your power.
Right.
And Obama's be cool. There's another, he caught shit for saying there's a lot of ways that we can die. Terrorism is only one of them, and it's a small one of them. Small way. Don't take the bait. Diminish their power by not reacting. Trump is a guy in every aspect of life that he reacts. He's sensitive and freaks out and reacts. And I don't want that kind of a unsettled energy, that unsettled person to be in charge. That's going to create a frenetic way of being for the country. That's what bothers me the most about him.
That's a really good point. And I think also that the president, he represents a standard of behavior.
Yes. When did we lose that?
Yeah.
Say what you will about Reagan, Bush, LBJ. They carried themselves like adults.
Yeah.
They carried themselves where they demanded your respect.
Yeah, Obama talks shit. I mean, Trump rather talks shit about people that just don't support him, like for no reason. Like one of the things that he did when Ronda Rousey got knocked out, he said, "I'm happy she lost. Not a good person." Like he tweeted that.
That's like a teenage girl.
Yeah.
You want a teenage girl to be in control of the country?
Teenage girl who's like 70.
Right.
Yeah. How old is he? How old is Trump?
I'm going to put him at
65?
I'm going to put him at 64.
He erased it from the internet. He's ageless.
Well, that's the other thing. The way he talks.
46 is when he was born, so he's 70 this year.
70 this year. So the way he attacks, the way he did with her, he goes after reporters. Anyone that has any different view.
Yeah.
That worm.
Yeah.
Not a good person.
Yeah.
So
sad.
That's how
losing
you're gonna
ratings. Sad.
Right? Yeah. So you don't think a guy like that is going to try and do something about the press when he's in office?
Oh yeah, that's going to be spooky.
Holy shit!
It's going to be spooky because it's weird that he has the time to do these things while he's still a multi-billionaire running all these companies,
Right.
reality TV star running for president.
Yeah.
2000 campaign.
Chance I'll run, millionaire considering Reform Party nomination. That was the millionaire days. He wasn't even a billionaire back then.
Yeah.
He was just a millionaire. He was worth $100 million.
He was going to put out a $100 million
Oh,
campaign.
he was going to put together a $100 million campaign.
Just flirting with it, putting it out there.
So he's been thinking about it forever. How
forever.
weird.
And it always seemed to me
Look
like
at-
this is
look
a
at that
smart
picture.
PR move.
That's
you know?
him and Jesse Ventura.
Yeah. Another
He
class
released
act.
a book that year on January 1st about how to
How to run the country?
Yeah, it's called, had a good title.
Jesse Ventura was talking to him about Tower 7 even before 9/11.
Yeah.
9/11 was an inside job. Tower 7.
The America we deserve.
January, Trump releasing a book, The America We Deserve. Well, he's right. This is the America we deserve.
Yeah, no shit.
I just hope that what's going to happen is if he does get into office, we'll realize that we really do need to be smart about how we govern ourselves. We really do need to consider it. We really need to make some real steps to try to reform politics in this country. And hopefully, like someone who is really a qualified leader, someone who's really smart and measured, is looking at this and is going, okay, I got to step in.
You know what? He's making me really miss Romney.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. He's making me miss Romney. At least he was a measured, thoughtful person. That's all. I don't care
Cult
what
member?
what you think about Obamacare, or what your religion is. Or
You don't worry about someone who thinks they're going to get their own planet when they die?
Well, maybe that part.
They get a planet.
Again, Joe, no one's perfect. But you know what I mean? Just someone who shows up and is respectful to other people.
Of course, yeah.
And carries himself.
Dignity. Yeah.
You're the guy.
Yeah.
You're the guy.
But what Trump is doing is like exciting douchebags. There's
Yes.
a lot of douchebags out there, and
Yes.
they didn't have anybody that represented them in government. And then all of a sudden, he's got them fired up. He's their guy.
Which was fine until now, when
Scary.
other people who are not purportedly douchebags, who are intelligent people in the government and in the press and business leaders, who are coming over and saying, okay, now he's my guy. Really? So that's when it becomes dangerous. That's when they lose sight of it and start rationalizing it and say, well, he's not Hillary, so I'm going to go with this guy.
Did you ever see the
It's
video
dangerous.
of Ted Cruz, who's even more dangerous, by the way? Ted Cruz is the most dangerous. He
Yeah.
scares the fuck out of me
Yeah.
because he's so dumb. He's so what he represents is just fucking flatline thinking.
Yeah.
And he is standing at this rally, and there's a Trump supporter in front of him with sunglasses on, like feet away from him, telling him,
Right.
"Quit, drop out,
I
it's
saw
over."
that. Yeah.
And it's just like that is that kind of a supporter. Like that's a new kind of supporter.
The bully.
The really aggressive man who shows up with a sign, stands in front of you with sunglasses on.
Yeah, let's go.
And tells you, yeah, it's time to drop out. Time to drop out.
Yeah.
And he goes, what do you like about Trump, sir? Everything. Everything. Like he probably doesn't even know anything
Nothing.
that Trump is supporting.
Nothing.
It's weird. man.
Nothing. It's just bravado.
Well, it's just weird. I mean, we have this culture that we're consuming nonsense all the time. We're consuming nonsense in the form of Transformers and sitcoms and TV shows, and just we're constantly eating nonsense with very little substance.
Yes.
And then this guy comes along who represents for the first time like a guy who's like, we're gonna make America great again, and throw your fists up in the air and that kind of rhetoric, and these guys just hop onto it.
And he's a familiar face from the nonsense.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Reality TV.
He's a
star.
guy that you've listened to before.
So strange.
Yeah. It's scary. It's a real telling thing of where we are with the media.
But how much power does the president actually have?
A little-
And will that highlight it once he gets into office? Like what Congress and
Yeah, because look, Iraq, which is arguably one of the greatest mistakes in centuries of just all the evidence of what's happening over there to those poor people, that happens because that guy is in charge.
yeah.
So, yeah, there are real global consequences to who's ever in that office.
And he's bringing in like real political masterminds to try to organize his campaign from here on out.
Yeah.
So I feel like he got to the dance.
Yeah.
He's essentially, they haven't made him the Republican nominee, but there's no one else.
Nope. No one's stepping
So
up.
how would that happen? Like, is there a possibility that he could not be the nominee? Is there any way?
Not any longer.
No.
No.
Wow, that's so crazy.
The only curveball could be that, and this is, well, there's a couple curveballs. There's many curveballs, but a third-party candidate could arise and say that they're going to go for it. Well, another scary curveball is that it stays the way that it is, and Hillary gets past Bernie, and it's Hillary and Trump, and they start going to battle, and then this the Benghazi reports and everything that she's being investigated for, they're saying in the New York Times today that they're slowing down that process so that shit comes out about her like on the eve of the election.
Really?
Yeah. So you manipulate
Well,
that
who's
stuff.
doing that? Who's
The
manipulating
Republican House who's investigating.
that? So they're virtually guaranteeing that it's almost like they have a bomb. and
Right.
They're gonna drop it at the proper time.
It's their one shot, right?
It's not just Benghazi. It's also the email server.
Right.
The email and sending classified emails. I had Mike Baker on, who's a former CIA operative, and he's pretty blunt about it. He said, look, if I did what she did, I'd be in jail.
Right.
He's like, we have top secret clearances, all those different levels
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yeah,
And you
irresponsible.
can't just take information from those emails that are top secret
Right.
and then just cut and paste and put them in emails that are going through a regular server. You can't do it.
Right.
And the fact that this guy in Romania, who's some hacker character,
Right.
was like reading all her emails. Like, what the
Crazy.
fuck, man?
Very scary. So back to your original question. Yeah, he could be your president.
I think he might be. What's going on?
Did you see this got announced yesterday?
What is it?
This is
Take the power back?
Take the power back. So all over LA yesterday, there was these I don't know posters were posted all around with this hashtag, and profitsofrage.com was the website to go to.
Yeah.
And there's just a countdown on this website that goes to June 1st, which I'm not 100% sure if that's the date of the RNC in Cleveland.
I think it is.
I think it's pretty close to it. Either way, what has been announced, I think, has been coming out over the last 24 hours is that members of Rage Against the Machine, Public Enemy, and Cypress Hill are getting back together, and they're going to start doing some political concerts, it seems like.
Oh, okay.
In concert with the RNC.
Against the RNC?
I mean, that's what Rage Against the Machine was doing a long time ago.
See, but here's the thing. If it's not the Republicans, then it's the Democrats. And is Hillary Clinton much better?
Yes.
I mean, is she much better than him?
Yes, just because of stability. I mean, she's not perfect. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, but that man is an irrational television star. He's a bad guy. You don't want that. You don't want that. She's not perfect, but there's stability and I just want calm up top. Give me calm. Give me people who have been there. He's bringing in these like real estate thugs from Atlantic City to be his advisor. He's a nutbag. Who goes on Twitter like a 12-year-old girl and starts getting in fights with people? Not the president of the United States. Entertaining, sure, but come on.
Well, now that he's sort of achieved the helm of the Republican Party, did you see that Megyn Kelly thing?
No,
like
I didn't see
Megyn
it.
Kelly, they did an interview recently.
Did they have a kiss and make up?
She kissed his ass.
Really?
Yeah, that's by all means, by all accounts, she kissed his ass, and they made it about the two of them.
Right.
They made it about their little relationship together, their interactions together. But he's been shitting on her, calling her a hack forever. Look at this.
It's what he does.
Bully for who? Megyn Kelly interview of Donald Trump made it clear once again the definition of bullying has expanded almost to the point of meaninglessness. Yeah. It kind of has. Like whenever someone like gets upset at someone, they're a bully. Now it's a bully.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have power, you're a bully.
He's the most scary to me when he gets calm like that and just starts talking like pretending to be a grown-up.
Hold on. Look what it's saying here. Almost exclusive. Look at this. They didn't use the occasion to talk about politics or policy. Instead, they talked almost exclusively in the aired version of the conversation about bullying. What? Most kids between the age of 6 and 16 have been bullied at some point in their lives, Kelly told Trump. She paused. Were you ever bullied? No, I wasn't, Trump replied. But I have seen bullying, and bullying doesn't have to be as a child, just have to be as a child. I mean, I know people who are bullied when they're 55. It can happen when you're 45, Kelly replied. Oh, amazing. What about 44?
What about talking about opioids killing Americans? How about talking
What about cigarettes?
How about talking about how you're going to take 11 million people and try and push them down to Mexico on day one?
Well, she was insinuating, I guess, that she at 45 was being bullied by Trump because of tweets. But when someone, he continued simply, it happens, we got to get over it, fight back, do whatever you have to do. But when someone criticizes you and then you criticize them, and they're a national newscaster and you're a national figure too, what's bullying? Like, where is that bullying, and where is that someone who's insulting someone? Is insulting someone bullying? Is shitting on someone bullying? Like, when does it, like that word bullying to me is like a bigger person picking on a smaller person where the smaller person can't do anything.
Right.
Well, she clearly has a voice of her own.
Right.
And she clearly is a person of power and influence, and she's on television.
Yeah, I'm confused even who's bullying who in that scenario, because she is powerful because she has the media. He's powerful because he had the mic.
Yeah. Well, she's way more classy about it for sure. Yeah. And her criticisms are fairly valid, and it's all things that she believes need to be addressed. So I don't think she's bullying him.
Yeah.
But is he bullying her by insulting her? Is that bullying, or is it just insult? Okay, look at this saying. Let me ask you about that, because most American parents are trying to raise their kids to not bully, to name call, not tease, not taunt. How can they effectively bring that message to the front runner when the front runner for the Republican nomination does all of those things? He says, while I do it, really, I've been saying during this whole campaign that I'm a counterpuncher. You understand that? I'm responding. Now, I then respond times maybe 10. What? Okay, I don't know. I respond pretty strongly. But in just about all cases, I've been responding to what they did to me. So it's not a one-way street. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I don't
This is his
understand.
brilliance. You're talking about all of this instead of...
Yeah.
Right?
So it's so crazy that
Yeah.
she's essentially painting herself as a victim and wanting to talk to this guy who bullied her and wanting him to address the idea and concept of bullying. And he's like, hey, I'm a counterpuncher. Fuck with me, I'll fuck you back.
Well, his thing is you do come out and bully. He beats the shit out of him and then is like, hey, Ted Cruz is a nice guy. Oh, good. He's been acting nice to me for a second.
Who do you think is going to be his running mate?
I don't know.
How about that fat guy from New Jersey?
He might go with
the fat guy from New Jersey. They've been hanging around together a lot.
He told the fat guy from New Jersey that he's going to be the guy in charge of his transition team to the White House.
Did you see the fat guy in New Jersey pouring M&Ms into his bag of M&Ms? He had 2 bags of M&Ms. He had a large bag of M&Ms and a small bag of M&Ms, and he poured the small bag into the large bag. That fucking slob.
They've tried to give him a little bit of credit for that. Like, this is the way that's packaged, and it's just a box of M&Ms with the small one inside.
Yeah,
It's easier to eat
whatever.
that way.
He's
Either
gross.
He's a monster.
I think
M&M eating monster.
I would think he probably goes with was the governor of Arizona, the woman who was yelling at
Jan Brewer?
Yeah.
No fucking way.
I think so.
She's way too dumb. She's scary, scary, scary dumb. Have you ever seen her interrogated or interviewed?
Interviewed,
where
nah.
someone questions her and gives her a hard time?
I just see her yelling.
Ooh. She just represents scared old people who live in Arizona. That's how they scooped her up.
Scare old people is, a good group to go for right now.
Tom Papa, you worried about the world? You're a bright guy. You're a thoughtful guy.
No, I'm pretty optimistic about
Yeah?
the world, actually.
So what's going to happen?
To the world and
With this whole election thing?
with this election
We're going to
thing?
learn from this?
I don't know if we're going to learn from this. I don't think we learned from the Bush era. I don't think we've learned that much. I think we're going through a little bit of a dark time where, people that make a lot of noise, you have someone thoughtful like Obama who wants to just have people discuss, and if people embraced and were able to debate with him rather than just block him, he wouldn't have won all of his things, but the other side would have been more thoughtful as well, and we wouldn't be in the place we are now. I think we're in this new media, this new way of digesting information that's very confusing to people, and some bad people are taking advantage of it. But I think ultimately we're going to sift through, and good people and good ideas will come to the forefront. I don't know how, but I'm pretty optimistic that that's the way it goes. Heavy evil ways tend to die off and go away. So I'm pretty optimistic.
A powerful message from Tom Papa. I hope you're right.
More piano, please.
I think people are nicer now than they've ever been before. I really do. And I think one of the things about it, this bully discussion, this discussion is an important discussion. Bullying is a real problem, and that discussion wouldn't be taking place 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Nobody gave a fuck about bullying. Like, suck it up, bitch. We all got bullied.
No, you're right. I mean, pretty quickly that's happened, right?
I just can't believe he said he never got bullied. How'd you never got bullied?
If you're the bully.
I guess, but he's always been the bully his whole life?
Sure.
He needs someone to bully him. I bet if someone came out and bullied him, like one of them Koch brothers.
That'd be funny if someone
Some
showed up and was like,
superballer.
I used to bully him.
You fucking pussy. You sucked my dick when you owed me $1 million.
We used to rub our balls on his face in 6th grade. He would cry. It was hilarious.
We'd fuck his hair up.
And then he starts tweeting back, yeah.
Sad! Exclamation
Sad,
point.
Loser, smelly balls.
Your balls always smelled. Sad.
No, but I'm pretty optimistic. And you know what's interesting, and I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass, but
we all are.
But I do feel like when you travel around and you do your shows and stuff, there's the thing that's lost in all of this discussion is there's Americans. There's just plain old Americans who don't say I'm purely Republican and purely Democrat. I'm just screw the other side at all cost.
Right.
There are just working people that are just Americans. Like, what happened to America being the thing that we're all working towards, and suss these people out for what's going to be better for our kids and for the country? I feel like the internet is going to sift through this bullshit. I mean, what we're seeing really with Trump in a way is kind of this implosion of that party because they let the crazy Tea Party right-wing part of it devour it, and now they're in chaos. Maybe that's a sign that people that are extreme won't survive. They'll kind of devour and devolve into something else.
Well, not only that, people were ganging up to try to stop Trump in the party. Like Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, they had like this pact. They were going to like try to figure out a way to stop Trump from moving forward.
Right.
And Trump, in my eyes at least, if I'm looking at it, I think he's looking at this as like an accomplishment. This is Mount Everest to climb, to become the president. Whereas I don't think he's looking at it in terms of really serving the United States people. I don't think he's that guy.
No.
I don't think that's his, I mean, that's not why he's so successful.
Right.
He's so successful because he represents his own shit.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it. He gets it done.
He's an egocentric comic who doesn't have much of an act, but becomes really successful because he believes in him so much.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that guy.
There's a couple of them.
Be nice.
But no, it's that
I could be
thing.
listening right now.
When there's that narcissistic thing, you do become successful because you want it more than anyone wants you to go away.
Yeah, it can be done, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's showing that he can get so close.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if Hillary can beat him. And Bernie's...
I know. That's kind of the thing.
Do you like Bernie?
I like him as a character. I followed him on Twitter just because he was an independent when he was an independent. He was just like this little rebel from Vermont, and it just seemed like a cool... I always loved Vermont, and it seemed like this free-thinking area.
Yeah.
I liked him more of just following him that way. His ideas of, of socialism, and I don't say that as a real, democratic socialist is not a scary, like, mindless thing, but I don't see him being that good of a leader. I don't see him being... He is pretty extreme. He is pretty extreme.
Yeah.
I don't see him as I loved him as like a senator from Vermont.
I kind of like the idea of trying someone extreme just so we can see what's wrong with it.
Well, that's the Trump thing. That is the Trump thing.
Yeah.
I voted for Perot at one point.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I did too.
I just wanted this guy who was making some sense. He's not perfect, but fuck, let's throw the card table up in the air and see where if there's a new game at the end of the day.
Do you remember when Perot had that ad on television where he took out an entire half hour of television and bought it?
Yes.
And then explained
With
why
his
the
pie
IRS
charts.
is fucking you?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know.
Man, I remember like my jaw dropping, like sitting and watching that going, what?
I know. Wasn't totally off base. And that's why that's why I get why people want Trump without even knowing that much of of the issues. It's like let's rock this. Let's blow this thing up.
System's not serving me.
Yeah.
We need one of us in there, boys. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. What is he saying? Go crank it up there.
And maybe now's the time for me to wave the voodoo stick and get rid of the hex. But it'll take a lot more than that. It'll take millions of you showing up on November the 3rd to get rid of this hex. Keep in mind, the value of the dollar is going down. The number of people making less than $12,000 is going up. I don't want to bore you with this statement, but trickle down didn't trickle. It just didn't work. We have 19th century capitalism in this country. Our successful international competitors are practicing modern-day capitalism. We need to practice 21st century capitalism. We need an intelligent, supportive relationship between government and business. We need long-term thinking. We need to target the industries of the future and make sure they are here and the words "Made in the USA" are written across them. We need to have the most rapidly growing small business society in the world because we can create more jobs more quickly there. All of this can be done.
You know what they did with
just
him?
look at that.
They kidnapped his daughter.
They did?
They threatened to.
Who did?
Some fucking bad people.
Really?
Yeah. You ever hear? He dropped out. Remember when he was running for president? He dropped out and then re-entered back in late in the race, and it was too late.
I don't
but
remember that.
He dropped out based on credible threats to the security of his family.
Oh my God.
Those are the days where they could just scoop your kids up.
Shit.
You know, back in the 80s, they could get away with something like that. They could actually pull it off. Was it the 80s or was it the 90s back then? I feel like
that was
90s.
90. I think he ran in 90.
But anything pre-internet.
That was Bush Clinton.
Let's see what it is
And he
here,
pulled
Jamie. 1992 campaign. The Perot says he quit in July to thwart GOP dirty tricks. Decision in July to manage a campaign. He said he had withdrawn, hearing President Bush's campaign was scheming to smear his daughter with a computer-altered photograph and to disrupt her wedding.
Oh, my God.
Mr. Perot offered no evidence, but I thought he was also worried about kidnapping. Can't prove any of it today, he said on tonight's CBS News program, 60 Minutes. But it was a risk, and a risk I did not have to take.
Where my daughter's concerned.
And a risk I would not take where my daughter's concerned. Who knows, man?
Yeah, well, it scared him, and he was a tough guy. He's still alive, I think.
We need a Perot type character. Is Richard Branson American? No. Damn it.
But that's, Trump has a little of that, right? Trump is saying, why are we sending these jobs over here? And why, right? So he's garnering up some of that.
What if it works? What if he gets in and he actually does a good job?
Yeah.
What if he gets in and just has everyone suck his dick? Shut up. Fuck off.
Well,
Congress, you're fired. Everyone's fired.
Well, that's why the Republican establishment doesn't like him. It's not that he's reckless, it's that he's
rich.
And he also holds views in the past that were more left than right.
Yeah. True.
He's a complex dude.
He is a complex dude.
Who farted?
Me.
It smells like bear.
It's not that bad. Tom Papa, where are you next, man? Where can people see you?
Let's see. I am going to Levity Live.
Oh, which one is
Nyack.
That? Oh, that's a good one.
Nyack, New York. I'm going there soon.
I hear good things.
Yeah, it's a good club. It's a good spot. And I'm shooting my special in the end of June, it looks like.
Who are you doing it for?
Epix, Hulu, and Amazon.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I like how Amazon's getting into things the same way Netflix is. They have like their own original programming, and that's cool, man.
Yeah. This show that I write on this show called Red Oaks, which is an Amazon show that Paul Reiser's in.
Red Oaks. I haven't heard of it. Is it
it's
new?
Good.
Is it brand new?
One season's out. And
Really?
And we're shooting the next season.
There's so much content today.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
It's amazing. I know. I'm going to shoot. I'm going to do a role in it too in a couple weeks.
Nice.
And it's on Amazon. You'd like it. It's all about a country club in the 80s. It's just like an 80s Caddyshack kind of a
beautiful.
show. And Paul Reiser's in it, and Richard Kind, and
You
really
know,
funny.
The Amazon has the new version of Top Gear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The one with Adam on it?
No. With Jeremy Clarkson and Richard May and James Hammond, the original crew of Top Gear. Do you know the whole story behind that?
Yeah.
The guy punched one of the producers. They fired him. Jeremy Clarkson did.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, he's awesome. But
So
apparently
they got
him and
back
the producer,
together?
him and the producer like get along fine. They just they had to blow up and
the
with the English
and the
would call.
BBC.
They had a bit of a row.
Knocked him out.
Probably
You're gonna have to be fired now.
Yeah, and something happened. They fired him, and the other two guys were like, "We're with you, dude. We're not going anywhere." And so they recast Top Gear.
Right.
And now Top Gear in the UK has like 5 new hosts.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's one of them being my friend Richard Harris, who's amazing, or Chris Harris. He's really my friend. I should actually know his name.
It's a good show.
I think of Richard Hammond, Chris Harris. There's so many fucking English people. But Chris Harris is my favorite British one of my favorite journalists, period.
Oh, yeah?
Car journalists.
Oh, yeah?
He's awesome at it. And he's one of the new Top Gear guys.
Chris Harris.
I gotta look him up. But Richard Hammond and James May and Jeremy Clarkson are the original Dream Team. I mean,
Right.
those guys together were
They were
show
great.
was the most popular show in the whole world.
They were awesome.
The whole world.
Amazing.
And when it got canceled, they moved over to Amazon. So they had to wait a certain amount of time. I think it's been over a year.
Yeah.
And now they're going to do it on Amazon. So
that's great.
It'll boost Amazon for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe it'll boost Tom Papa.
Yeah,
as
maybe
well.
my little special will be good. Then I'm still cranking out my podcast, my Come to Papa podcast. It's a little endeavor. And that's it.
Do you have a little studio set up at your place?
I just have like this little H4 recorder. And
You just bring it places?
I just have it. No, I do it. I do the Sirius XM show. And I do that in the studio. And then I
What
move stuff
channel
to
you do that on?
podcasts. On Raw Dog.
Oh, okay.
I've been doing that for a long time. And then I do these live Come to Papa shows, which are like a Prairie Home Companion. You should do it sometime. It's really good.
I would love to.
It's like scripted old classic radio. We do sketch stuff you just read on stage, and then some comedians do a set.
You do it in the
We have
audience?
music. We do it at Largo, and then we do it in Village Underground.
And you have comics who actual stand-up?
Yeah.
They do their act on your podcast?
Yeah.
Why would anybody do that, though? Because then it releases their material.
Who hears it?
Who's listening? What kind of fucking podcast is this? How many people are listening?
Well, they do older material or they just try stuff out. Or it's only like a 5-minute set. You know.
Okay.
I don't know. Aren't you beyond being so precious with your material? Like, don't you
Being
want
so precious?
Yeah, like people hear it. I don't care where I do my act at this point. You know?
Really?
Yeah. People want to hear it all the time.
So if people are sitting in front of you with a camera, just pointing at you while you're on stage, doesn't weird you out if you're working on some new shit?
It weirds me out, but I don't care.
Wow. Tom Papa, you're so relaxed.
No, but
What's
why?
your key? What's the key? Regular foot massages? What do you do that keeps you so calm?
I kind of stopped worrying about that stuff.
That's good.
Because, everything's everywhere.
Everything's everywhere.
So I'm going to put this special out.
Right.
The day it comes out, kids are going to rip it, put it around for free.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Right? So you actually want people to steal your stuff.
In some ways.
So, if you had a show at the Ice House and they're going to record it, I would just shift my thinking. Like, all right, so I'm not going to do that one bit. I'll do this other bit or whatever, The point is that people can see it all the time everywhere. So who cares if it's on a podcast?
I guess you could look at it that way. I always look at it like when you see it live, leading up to the filming of a special, it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And if you see it, it's like you could read spoiler alerts about Game of Thrones online if you want to.
Sure.
But it'll kind of fuck up the story for you.
Right.
So if you see like bits that are a work in progress like 6 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see them again, you get to see the work that's been done. So you could look at it that way. Like I see the progress, and it's kind of cool as a fan of comedy to watch that. Like I like watching other people work stuff out. I like Tony Hinchcliffe has this new bit. I don't want to give away the premise, but I've been watching this bit grow, and he comes off and he's like super pumped. Dude, you see the new version? I'm like, I love it. I love that new thing. And we start talking about it. But I'm a comedy geek,
right?
And I like the process itself. Whereas some people just want to see the actual bit when it's done.
But that's how I feel. Like the comedy geeks will notice.
Will like it.
Me do my bit on the podcast and then see it in my special.
Right.
But the regular fans, they're just going to see the special.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like it's our job now in the way that people can digest material. It's our job to crank stuff out and be making stuff, doing podcasts and doing your material and writing books and just crank and create and put it out there. So if you see my raw set at Largo, that's what I put out today. And if I'm going to do my special or I'm going to do a thing in Red Oaks, that's that thing, So it's just all output from the Papa compound.
The Papa compound, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Papa, folks. Thank you,
great.
buddy. It was
You're the
fun,
best.
man. I enjoyed it.
Nice watching you eat bread.
I never thought anybody ever say that. Bye, fuckers.